Yes.
Two good ones. All this working out's got my hands meatier.
No. Oh, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, here we go. New
pre-workout.
stemmed glasses.
Oh, yes.
So the old glasses that we used to use were basically stemless wine glasses from Cherry Republic.
Okay.
So this last week, I went on a little vacay to Houghton Lake, and we took a day trip to Traverse City and Glen Arbor, where Cherry Republic is. And I saw the stemmed glasses, and I was like, let's upgrade the podcast.
Yeah. Dude, these are sweet. So are these going to be just podcast exclusive?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. That's all I ever wanted.
So I've been sober for over 10 years. We're almost at 10 and a half. And I spend, thank you. It's not a big deal.
It is a big deal.
I literally spend so much time bartending at this house, like making drinks, like keeping drinks full, like doing all that. So I usually am the one selecting the glassware and pushing alcohol onto other people because that's who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep these.
You live vicariously through others.
No, I like being around drunk people.
Yeah.
Because I think, a lot of people are really boring. I get bored easily with people. And I find drunk people, which is part of the reason why
I don't bore you.
You don't. I love you, Zach. Which is part of the reason why I drank so much and spent so much time, not so much like to excess, but I mean so often, and why I spent so much time like out at the bar and doing all that stuff.
Okay.
Because I just genuinely enjoy kind of a looser, rowdier group of folks. And so like the bar is usually more conducive to that than like whatever. So when I got sober, it didn't change like who and how I like to hang out with people. It just changed like how I like to engage or indulge in the night. So yeah, I still really enjoy being around people that drink. The only difference is that I am then not drunk when everybody else gets drunk.
Yeah. And
I didn't have a lot of patience for sloppy drunks, even when I was a drinker. I was sometimes a sloppy drunk, but very rarely. Normally,
Okay.
I could go out and drink for like 12, 14 hours, like just ridiculous shit.
I've heard some stories.
Yeah. And sometimes, like I guess like college, let's say, or early 20s or something, and there were probably some circumstances, even like in my mid 20s, where like I was a little sloppy, but for the most part, like I could just pony up and keep going. And so I didn't have the patience for sloppy drunks then. And being sober, I have even less patience for sloppy drunks. Yeah. So I'm good. I'm good. And then I'm like, I'm out.
Yep, we're done.
Yeah, I'm done. So, every once in a while, I guess when I was younger, Adderall wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
So when people would get sloppy drunk, you knew soon they were going to be asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I hang out with some people from time to time that are obviously on Adderall. And then the sloppy drunk can go on for like 4 hours.
Oh, God.
And you're like, good Lord. Like, I don't know. So
wait, so like back in the day, they wouldn't like, instead of Adderall, they wouldn't do the strips, the thin. What are they?
Mini thins.
Mini thins.
No, mini thins weren't really like a big thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a big thing. For those of you that don't know, mini thins used to be these things you get at the gas station. They still have them, but they're not the same thing. These used to be called mini thin 2020, I think, or 4040 or whatever the fuck they were.
Yeah.
And it was just straight ephedrine before like meth became an issue and before like people died from supplements with ephedrine in them. You used to be able to just buy straight ephedrine. And so you take these 2 tiny pills and like the plastic feeling you get from pre-workout where like your face feels tingly and like everything feels plastic is like nothing compared to mini thins. Like mini thins, it literally felt like the top of your head was like peeling off. But people didn't really do mini thins because it's really not that pleasurable of an experience. You're not like, and they're hard on your stomach. So it really wasn't too much of a thing. I guess like back in the day, like people used to do like Ritalin maybe.
Yeah.
But it is not the same thing as Adderall.
Yeah.
Right. Because like even with Ritalin, you're still like when you get to that sloppy drunk, you're probably not up very much longer. Where I've seen people with Adderall, it's like watching someone eat glass. Like, they're out on their feet and they're just going and going and going. And you're like, oh, Lord.
Oh,
like,
man. You're watching the car crash happen.
Yeah, you're like, we're headed to Zombieville, and like I like the one night, it wasn't that long ago, I had someone here and then Gabby and her friend went to sleep and then I was left with somebody that I hardly knew.
Yeah.
That was obviously on Adderall and like she was wasted. And then we still I set up because I'm not going to leave someone that I don't know like unattended in my house.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if they're going to leave and drive. That's more of my concern.
Right.
So I'm like up to make sure like people actually go to bed and don't like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And then get in their car and drive home wasted because they don't know what's going on. But yeah, like we're wasted. I'm thinking we're on limited time. I'm thinking like any minute now this is gonna end. Gonna go to sleep. No.
Yeah.
It was like 4 hours straight of like talking and talking and talking, and I was like, we're on Adderall. I got it. This is an Adderall kind of night. I got it. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
All right, so to our new stemware.
Yes.
And to a return, we haven't.
Cherry Republic.
Yeah, Cherry Republic.
Cheers.
From Glen Arbor. It's been 2 weeks since we actually did one of these.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh. Ha! That's new?
Oh, I changed it up.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Welcome back.
Holy shite.
Here, I'll take that guy.
Yeah, okay.
Woo. It might be dangerous.
Yeah. At least we're sitting and not having to do bear crawls or something right now.
After it, well, who knows how long it'll take to wear off. After we do this, there may be puking during the workout.
Oh, man.
That was serious.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was.
Is that a brand new pre-workout?
Just a totally different dosage of the straight Gabby pre-workout.
Oh.
Because it's starting to get close to the expiration date.
I can taste the lemonade now.
Yeah, so I just wanted to use it up. So I figured I used a scoop and a half, but the scoop from the actual pre-workout, not the scoop that came with that pre-workout.
Oh,
so we'll just see.
It's a man scoop thing.
Yeah, it's like the man scoop for like the little guy. Because Gabby's little pre-workout thing isn't really a pre-workout. It's like a, metabolism booster or something to help you like burn fat and get your. It's like a really, really wimpy pre-workout. But the dosage of what you get also comes with this like little Coke spoon. It's just like, there you go. Where I was like, well, let's use the big scoop and see. So there's
that was different.
There's a good amount. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
If they're sweating, we know why.
Yeah.
All right. So last time we were here, it's hard to remember, but you were getting ready to get on the road literally when we got done.
Yeah.
To go to MVP.
Yes.
And then I was getting ready to be here.
Yeah. Did you work out while I was gone? Did you keep up with it?
I did. So we worked out on Monday? No, we didn't work out on Monday. I think I did like a light, just like stuff.
No, we did.
We did work out on
because I
Monday.
did leg day, and I remember, damn it, leg day.
Yeah, you worked out. We worked on a Monday. Wednesday, I worked out. No weights.
Okay.
Just like a bunch of like stride work, body weight stuff. And I went for a nice bike ride, and then I went and actually rode my bike with the backpack to the park and did some metronome training at the park.
Did you go to the one we
went to the same thing, threw off the basketball court, and it was good. It was good. It helped out a bit and whatever. And then Friday, I forget what I had going on Saturday. I don't know. But I had the tournament on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to like not work out on Friday and just see what the difference was, because I have been doing the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then tournament Saturday, tournament Sunday, whatever. And when I'm there, I'm just like, like I did Stony League semifinals after working out Friday morning. And I was like, oh, and so I just wanted to see like timing wise and everything, how it went, not working out on Friday. Mm-hmm. And so having work out on Wednesday, I did like some stuff. Like Saturday, I mowed my lawn and was like very physically active all day. I just didn't do a workout.
Yeah.
Did some stuff around the house and whatever. And then Sunday I played a tournament at Cass. That would be last Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went. It was originally going to be at Cass and Northridge Church, and then Northridge Church announced that they were having services outside. So then it was just strictly going to be 2 rounds at Cass.
Yeah.
That's what made me sign up.
Yeah.
Because Northridge Church, we both put in a 926 sanctioned round at Huron Valley Singles League. And I also, I can appreciate the time that people put into playing Northridge Church and that it's a nice course.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against the course. I just have a lack of familiarity with the course. And so every time I'm there, I'm kind of like,
what am I doing?
What's this shot? How does this go? And like people out there that play all the time, it's like 9 down.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to go play a tournament, I got to shoot 9 down at a course that I still hardly know, because they moved stuff even from last year.
Yeah, the course is very deuce or die to start with.
Yes.
And then there's a couple just like weird, like how far is it? Like,
Yes.
it's not far. It's just like,
You don't know the
how
distance.
short do I got to chip this shot type deal.
Right, and then where does it need to break?
Yeah.
That's more of the thing. Like it's not like a straight kind of open shot. It's like you got to get out of this opening and then have it fade to the left.
It's like a slightly more difficult firefighters because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but and it's also just something that I think like you just need to get familiar with. You know, like I use the rangefinder because I'm not good when there's just an open field and there's a basket out there of like seeing the distance.
Yes.
So like I've used the rangefinder for like 4 years because I've never been good at that.
Yeah.
So when I'm there, it's not open and I can't quite see the pin because it's around a corner or whatever it is, and then it's trying to like shoot a distance to a tree of where I need a disc to cut, and I'm just like, yeah, I just need to play here more. So I didn't want to like pay tournament dollars and go play at Northridge and just get like, you know, my rating crucified and get slaughtered by people that play there all the time.
Yeah.
But Cass, I like.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'll totally go throw down a Cass.
Yes.
Yes.
How'd you do there?
Well, I was thinking when I was going there, because everything's been going pretty well. Like other than like I just go out and shoot my rating, basically, you know.
Yeah.
Since the changes and everything, like I've gotten more and more comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
Still trying to wash down this pre-workout a little bit. You know,
I'm letting it linger.
yeah. I just figured like Cass last time I was there, my first round was like okay, but my second round was like 1,025 or whatever it was, 1,000 something, and I putted like shit. So I was like, okay, my putting is way better. Like I've gotten used to the fierces and I have like, you know, everything's cool. So I was like, well, I got a real shot to shoot some sweet stuff. And I was thinking like, I'm going to go and do really well. So I was like pumped because I was also like, I haven't won a tournament this year and it'd be nice to win a tournament because I've won 2 tournaments every year randomly.
Yeah.
Even last year when I turned pro for the first time, like I won 2 pro tournaments.
Yeah.
So this year with the limited amount of tournaments, I'm thinking like I'm running out of time.
Yeah.
So I got out there and I was like warming up and seeing people and I was like, oh, cool. You know, like I'm excited to play Cass. And then like I saw a Wygren and I was like, fuck, man. Like, now I really got to
Do stuff.
do stuff because not only is he really good, but he also plays that course all the time.
Right.
So I was like, fuck, you know, like I know the course and I can do well on the course, but I don't go out there and play it that often.
Mm-hmm.
So first round, I don't know. It doesn't matter. We played the course and then we had 1 extra hole.
Mm-hmm.
So the extra hole was like on an island by the parking lot. If you come in and actually park and then just walk down the sidewalk to 1, there's a little island there. They had a porta potty there. And then like kind of kitty corner back from the porta potty was the basket. And then it was just that little grass area was inbounds.
Oh, weird. Okay.
So if you're looking at 18's basket
Yes.
and you go back from that to 17's tee pad,
Yeah.
you're basically throwing from in front of 17's tee pad towards
Yeah.
hole 1's tee pad, kind
Okay.
of like across that little road, and then there's that little grass. 243 feet.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it is what it is. So played my round. I don't know. I shot right around even,
Mm-hmm.
I think, playing all par 3s. So I think I shot like a 57 first round or 56 or something, whatever it was. So we get to that hole, and I threw Rocco and just absolutely parked it. I was like 3 feet away, or well, maybe like 5 feet away from the pin.
Yeah.
And I was like, sweet. And they were like, yeah. And then I was thinking, I don't know if I got in the 50-50 because I was waitlisted. And I don't know if when I signed up on the wait list, you were blocked. Like Douglas hadn't opened up the ability to like sign up for Ace Pool and 50-50.
Yeah.
Because you have to actually do that. So I think when I signed up for the wait list, I just signed up for everything. But I don't know if that was
Part of doing
one
that.
of the options for me.
Yeah.
So only at that point when I was like, that's going to win the 50-50 was I like, shit, I don't remember if I was able to sign up for it or not. So we like put a thing down. We were the last card or second to last card to play that hole for that round anyway. So it's like, well, we'll just put a marker. We'll go up and ask Doug and then I can come back and move it if I have to or not or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, my round was pretty just straightforward. I had like a couple things that I screwed up, a couple things that I did well. No big deal, nothing crazy. And we got done with the round. I go over, I asked Doug, and he's like, yeah, you're not in 50-50 or the Ace Pool. And I was like, all right, it's not a big deal. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's 50-50, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
So Wolf was actually there and for Wolfpack. And he was like, oh, well, I was right there. And I was like, well, dude, it's yours then.
Mm-hmm.
Because mine, like, we put a stick or whatever. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. So I was like, well, go. Then I didn't have to walk over and change it. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'll just go over and do it. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
sweet. So he went over there. I went to Taco Bell for lunch.
Nice. Good play.
Knocked down 3 of the shredded chickens. It
Nice.
was dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Came back, Smoked cigarette, acted tough. And then I was like 5 strokes behind Wygren, 1 stroke behind Adam McPherson. I think that's his name. And Brian Sweet was on our card.
Mm-hmm.
And then me. And so we started on 2 again. And it's the same thing. Like I did better. Like
Yeah.
I didn't miss putts and stuff and whatever. And it was fine. Like I went through nothing really remarkable. I got on a little bit of a hot streak kind of in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 was fine, 3 was fine, whatever. And then I think like 9, 10, I birdied 9, 10, 11. And we got to 12 where you throw down there. In the first round when I threw 12, I hit the same gap every time. And I came over and it was like pin high first round and I hit the stump, that big stump in front of the basket. And I even like right when I hit, I was like, fucking stump, because I hit the stump all the time.
Yeah.
But some, like they had kind of trimmed up the bullshit that grows on that stump.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll hit the stump and then come back. And then you're at like a weird distance for the putt because that stump's kind of like taller and my putt comes low.
Yeah.
So then I like don't have a putt.
Yeah.
And like I ran the basket and now like I'm arbitrarily fucked.
Yeah.
But luckily I hit the stump and then rolled out in a round. So I had like a 10-footer, hit it.
Nice. So
when we got there second round, because I had just gotten 3 birdies in a row, all with good drives, I almost got 10 and then I blew by it by like 40 feet. And I was like, shit, but I hit the putt. So I was like, okay, cool.
Nice.
But so on 12, I was like, I'm going to put a little bit higher, throw it a little bit harder, and I'll get over the stump. We'll give it a run.
Yes.
So I threw it and totally fucking smashed it. Like right out of my hand. Right when I let it go, I was like, that's in.
Yeah.
Then I went through the gap and I just turned and I was like, get in there. And it literally just like curved right over. And I was like, sin. I was like, that's in. And it just goes, wham, like perfect. Dead center chains, right in. And I was like, yeah. And the guys in my car were like, sweet. And I was like, no ace pool. Cool. So yeah. So
Oh my God.
like Wygren had gotten a birdie on that and lost a stroke, which he was laughing about. And then so I went around the wide way to go down to the basket because they all still had to throw, and I asked them if they wanted me to clear it out, and they said no. And I was like, well, whatever, I'm just going to walk anyway. So I walked down and I was like, hey, dog, didn't sign up for the 50-50? Got it. Didn't sign up for the ace pool? Got it. I was like, I'm never fucking doing this again. And he was laughing. And I was like, sweet, that $10 really cost me. But so whatever, I cleared it out. I was a little jumpy after that. So the next hole, I just put a little wide.
Yeah.
Took the par. But I had basically at that point, I think I'd like pretty much caught up to Nate. So I was like, cool. I was also thinking like, man, this could be a dope round.
Yeah.
And then I took a stupid bogey on 14. I pulled the drive like right up there, went all the way through, never touched the thing. But it just held right. Like I don't know if there was a wind, but it just held right. So I was like actually inside of this bush tree thing that I didn't even know existed. So I had like a weird upshot. I just left a little short, and then the putt I missed, which wasn't. It was like a 25-footer uphill. I guess I was worried about the roll away. I don't know.
Yeah.
Left a little short. And then I played out the round and it was fine. 18, I got a 4 on because I missed a putt. I was the only one that actually had a putt. It was like 20 feet away.
Really?
Yeah. It was sweet. It was
Yeah.
a good drive, good upshot. Missed the putt. I was like, fuck. Took the 4. And then I was pissed about the putt. And on the extra hole, I threw it too wide. It was really windy, like right to left. So I threw Rocco out, like bottom up, out to the side, and figured that it would blow back across. I could control the distance better, and it would sit because that island's not very big. Right when I threw it, like the wind stopped. Like there's nothing.
And we're done.
Like I just threw it too wide. I mean, like I should have just been safer. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like the whatever. So I threw it. Wind caught it. Or wind didn't catch it, and I landed literally like a foot out of bounds. So I was like, well, whatever. Throw the thing, take a 4 on it, get to hole 1, and I was like, I'm birdieing this. Like there's like I just took that 4. There's no way. So I actually threw the rogue on 1.
Okay.
And just put a little bit more flex on it, and just figured it'll at least come back. Like I can control the line and have to throw it that hard. And I got to like a 25-foot, 30-foot putt. Hit the putt, took the birdie.
Nice.
Took the birdie, and I was like, cool.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's a good birdie.
Yeah, it was a good birdie.
Yeah.
But I didn't catch up to Nate. Like Nate actually, like after some point where like I thought I had made up some ground, then I just kind of like fell off. And that 4, he got a 2 when I went OB on the extra hole and whatever. So I lost him by a few strokes, but I was still happy. and it was over 1,000 rated. So I was like, cool with that. I was like, all right,
Nice.
sweet. But I didn't realize it until I was like talking to you on the phone, like Sunday or Monday or whatever. And I was like, well, fuck. If they didn't have that extra hole, which was a bogey, I shot a 53 with the bogey on the extra hole. Like I would have shot a 49
Yeah.
on Cass. I did
Yeah.
shoot. I did shoot a 49 on Cass, like
Yeah.
with the 18 holes. And I was thinking, like, well, cool. I'm really happy with that
Yeah.
because
Totally.
like, I didn't do stuff.
Why did he add the extra hole?
I don't know. He just kind of does that, and it was
Yeah.
cool. I mean, it was
Yeah.
cool. Like there, I blew it.
Whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I didn't know if he was adding for like more people were coming to play or I don't know.
He might have done it for more
Yeah.
people because I was on the wait list and then I was off the wait list. That's probably why he did it. So that way he could get 76 people instead of the 72. I didn't mind it, and the hole was actually cool. Like I liked it. Like Adam on my card threw, hit the fucking porta potty, and then it just knocked him out of bounds. And it was like, it's a terrible thing, and I felt bad for him, but it was also kind of funny. Like, dude, you just hit a porta potty and went out of bounds. The funny part is he only had the course till noon because we were supposed to go play Northridge second round, and then when that got canceled, like the park never gave him clearance for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So it was like casual central second round.
God.
So as we had talked about before, like when you're playing a solo round, you get a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Even kind of when you're playing a tournament round, if you've never played a tournament round with a bunch of casuals on Cass, turns out a tournament round has a lot of rhythm to it.
Yeah.
Because casuals on Cass, like, it's a real slow go. So I was really happy just by the way that the round went with so many delays. Like it was like, and I watched other people just kind of come unglued from it. Not only people on my card, but like other people that I just saw, you could see them like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're waiting for people.
Because you kind of get a feel for like who is in front of you, who's in behind, whatever.
Yeah.
And then if they're like having a rough go, or it's like, oh, this guy is known for being a slow player, so we're gonna have to wait on a lot, likely or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and then randomly you have people with small children or taking their girlfriend out or dogs or any number of things.
Brand new at the game.
Just really, really slowing down. So some of the casuals were really cool. Some people I think lose track of the fact that, you are an ambassador of the sport when you're out there. So like, yeah, this tournament's important to you, but like you're also trying to like grow disc golf and like be a good example of disc golf.
So if you're the guy who's like, I want the sport to grow, and then you're playing a tournament, it's like, can you just get the fuck off the course so we can play?
Right.
Seems like counterproductive.
Right. So every casual that I ran into, I try to chat him up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my nature anyways. But I was chatting them up, and they're like, a couple of guys had never seen tournaments. So they were asking me, like, well, what's this? And I was telling them, and they asked, like, how do you play, like, states? Like, is this a qualifier for anything? And so I explained to them the whole system and whatever. And I was like, you should play some tournaments. Try it out. There's a whole bunch of different divisions. And that was not the approach that some people took.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking, like, this is the wrong place to not take that approach.
Right.
Because Cass has a reputation for having, like, people of low character that play there as casuals.
Cass holes.
Yeah, Cass holes.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of that. Like one guy, a couple of cards in front of us, I guess, almost got into a fight with this guy because he made some shitty comment to his kid, and then the guy was like, I'll fuck you up. I don't know.
Yeah. That's weird. It's funny because every time I've gone to Cass, pretty much every person I've run into has been like a cool person, like talkative or whatever. They're just like, yeah, we suck, but like we enjoy it or whatever. Yeah. Like I've never ran into an actual like Cass hole.
Yeah.
There.
I've run into plenty.
Okay.
But I'm always impressed by that course, by how many like new players it draws out.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always a whole bunch of like new players, like 4 discs, 2 people. Let's go. I'm always impressed by that because it's like, okay, cool. Like it is a beautiful park and it is a nice walk and it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's a couple
I enjoy Cass a lot.
Yeah, there's a couple of weird smells, and if you're actually trying to compete,
there's a hole that's always just mud.
Yeah.
Yeah, always. Even though it's on a hill, the water sticks to the side of that hill. It just keeps it mud.
And then there's a couple of tee pads that if you're actually trying to compete on are a little dicey. Yeah. Like Five's tee pad is it's always overrun.
Well, that tee pad used to be worse because there used to be the tree, like the big tree trunk that just grew over top of it. And if you were like our height, you had to like duck underneath to throw.
Yeah.
So like when that was gone, it's like, oh, I get to like actually throw this hole. Well, now the thing is mud.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
It's like a landslide every time you play it.
I watched my buddy fall like 5 times in a row.
I watched a guy on our card fall. It was good. I was like, sweet.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I had my broom and like I'd swept off some pads and stuff, and then we got to that one, and I was just like, yeah, it's not gonna do anything. I'll still do it, but just so you know, it might make it worse because it might make it slick. Like once you take that sand off, there might be wet sand underneath or wet concrete, and it might.
Yeah.
That's what we'll try it.
Whatever.
Yeah, you just can't get an angle.
You might need to bring a shovel next time you go to.
Yeah, a miner's hat. Who knows? But I actually 3'd that hole both times.
Nice.
Great drive.
Yeah.
Great drive, decent upshot. One forehand upshot. Ooh shit.
Dang.
Both of them I hit pretty good putts.
Nice. That's good.
One of them.
I like that hole a lot.
Yeah, I like that hole. I like that hole a lot. I didn't get 4 either time.
No.
I just left it too far left.
That's sad.
I threw the Raptor, and I ended up literally in the exact same spot both times. Made an adjustment, put it farther out to the right, but also put it higher up, and I literally like I was in, like my discs were like on top of each other both around.
That's hilarious.
It was good.
So you didn't try throwing the tunnel shot on the left side, or did
no?
that
A couple
not exist
trees
there?
had fallen into the tunnel shot.
Oh, okay.
Evidently, that had been a point of protest by a couple of folks. They're like, "Oh, the hole isn't playable now."
Yeah.
We were like,
which
I
thought was super weird because like eventually some people were like, well, maybe now you can just see the basket, like you have a clear shot to it or whatever.
Yeah.
And like people were saying like, this is just ruined the hole. I didn't personally see it that way. I tend to not comment on stuff. I'll just read and lurk for the most part, and then just like have my own opinion form and talk to myself about it.
Right, and then bring it up later.
Yeah.
Well, your shot said fucking cheater grenade anyways. Yeah. Like literally like 4 feet from the pin every time.
My grenade has improved.
It's disgusting.
No, it's better. I grip it different. Dude, how
you do the thumb?
I used to. So I was messing around one time, like literally 3 days ago with Dan and Kyle. And I was just like, I'll just give this a go again. I've thrown it like this before, and it was like really weird, and I couldn't like get control with it, and I'm just like heaving it somewhere. And then this time it felt a little different, even though I'm gripping the same way. It just made a little more sense to me. So I gripped it like this, and I'm just going to try to hit above my head. And I did. This disc was so fucking high up in the air.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm just going to grenade like this from now on. And so at Seymour, the back hole in the corner to the left, I don't know.
Yeah.
Have we played where I throw the grenade there?
No.
Okay. Well, I throw a grenade there.
Right. So the hole that has 2 different pin placements.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the pin placement to the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the one to the right. I don't like the one to the left. But now when I play that, I throw a grenade on that hole.
Yeah.
And it used to be when I throw the thumb, it's basically a big spike hyzer. So I put it out way to the right. This one, it's literally just straight up and down.
Yeah.
And before, it's like I can't get over the trees immediately off the tee.
Right.
Now it's like, that's fucking easy as shit. Like I need to put like with this way, I need to go over these trees to get there. And like I did one during leagues because I love you, Miles, but like I was just kind of like fucking around at some point. And I threw the one and it went deep, long, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's funny because it's like a grenade. And then the next one, I'm like, I'm just gonna put this PD2 just like as a fun shot. You guys don't care? Like, yeah, send it. And it went up over the tree, and it was still like past the basket, even up over there. I was like, okay,
yeah, I could do this.
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I really don't like playing against your grenade. I'm happy that it's doing more for you, and I hope that it helps you achieve your goals. But specifically when I'm playing against you, I just don't like it because I just like.
Next time we play, I'm gonna throw only grenades.
Right when it goes up, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just go fuck myself. Yeah. It's like, oh my god, it's right by the basket. I'm like, oh my god, who knew?
Wow, that's crazy. Great.
Yeah. So whatever. I finished out. I finished out the tournament at Cass. Yeah. I finished second, and
that's good.
Yeah, it was good.
How many people were in open?
I think there's only like 5 or 6.
Okay.
But I was happy with the second round.
Yeah.
And my first round, like, kind of similar shit. Like, I got there later than I wanted to. It's like my new thing this year. I got there a little bit later than I wanted to. I had a chance to like warm up a bit, but I felt like for the first round, like I didn't really warm up till like halfway through the round. Second round, I was all warmed up and full of Taco Bell, so it was. The machine was just going.
Oh, yeah. She was on fire.
She was on fire. Yeah. So it was good. And that was it. And I was happy with it overall. I was kind of tracking you and Phil throughout the weekend. I messaged you guys a few times. Mm-hmm. And I was hitting you guys up about what was going on.
Did any of them go through to me? I don't remember. Because I had like no service the whole time.
Yeah.
I basically never have service now. So
Yeah, it is what it is. It's not frustrating for me at all. It's not like I'm always like, I'm going to hit up Zach.
I'm not doing it to piss you. It's literally like I'm not just getting stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
And you have every right not to respond to me. I mean, you're a grown adult. I'm not.
No, that's not. I want to talk to you. It's like, I haven't heard from Darren in a while. And then it's like, I probably just aren't getting anything. And then I send you stuff. And then it's like, not received, not received. And I like sit there and keep like trying to send the message again. Whatever, dude.
The weirdest one is Will's. Because when I call Will's phone, it doesn't ring.
Really?
It just goes this weird static. It's like,
Really?
and then the voicemail picks up, and I'm like,
what?
Like it won't ring. Like when he's at Hudson, he was at like the Hudson Open or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And I saw the scores posted, so I wanted to talk to him. Like I finished with my tournament, he finished with his, so I just wanted to be like, hey, what's up, whatever.
Yeah.
And when I went to go hit him up for like an hour, obviously he was still there because Hudson has. Remember when he had the giant thing out, and I was like, I thought you had 5G. He's like, not in Dexter. But his, yeah.
Let me see.
This whiteboard's actually Will's cell phone. But anyways, yeah, it doesn't ring. It just like goes to static. Like he already answered, but the reception's shitty. So I'm like,
oh, okay.
You know, and I'm old, so I'm self-conscious about my oldness. And I'm like, hello, hello. Hello, and then I'm like, fuck, and then the voicemail comes on, and I'm like, these kids and their phones.
Oh my god.
But at least yours will just go to voicemail, or it might ring, or whatever. Like I at least know, like, all right, cool, like this is working. But his that weird static, I'm just like,
what's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah.
So for the tournament, second place, I got $100.
Okay.
So then I just bought another pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good investment. Worked out.
First time I ever wore the
oboes.
Oboes.
Yeah. Not hobos. Oboes.
No, I did some research on them after I got them.
Okay.
So
makes sense.
I got them because I wanted a full leather upper, and they have a really strong like toe guard. You know what I mean? Like really, so I don't have to worry about wearing them out.
Yeah.
And they're waterproof, and I know that they're a good company. They plant a tree every time you buy a shoe, and they're guys from Keen that left Keen to make a better product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, and they're supposed to be like really ergonomic for your feet and everything. And I was like, okay. The only thing I was worried about is they're wide because they have like a big toe box because it's better for your foot or whatever. And I was like, well, we'll see. So when I got them, they fit me great. I do not have wide feet.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything else. But anyways, so whatever, I got them and they fit like fucking gold. And I was like, oh my God. And then I wore them one time to like play around just to like try them out. And I was like, these might be the greatest disc golf shoes I've ever owned. And I've owned some really nice disc golf shoes.
For all those, Darren has a pair of shoes for
everything,
each bag.
Yeah, basically.
Probably more shoes than bags.
Oh, easily. I have way more shoes than bags.
Yes.
So anyway, so I was like, okay. And I only get nice shoes because like I've always had knee problems and like my feet aren't the best.
You invest a lot in shoes.
Yeah. Because it like ground up, right? Like things not to skimp on, a mattress and shoes.
Yes.
Because they're going to impact your entire body and the quality of life that you live. Yep. I honestly believe that. So I get nice, comfortable, supportive shoes, and I have a really nice mattress.
Yes.
Other than that, some other stuff, lifestyle, you got to make a choice of what's important to you. But those two, there's no variance.
Yeah.
So when I got those, I was like, these might be the best. First tournament round, ace. And 1,000 rated. So I was like, well, maybe there's something to these shoes.
Man, if only they had like a limited edition one where you could spend more money on them.
Well, I got them really cheap. So I was like super pumped. So when I was on vacation, I was like doing research on the shoes that I already bought just to see what other people were saying.
Yeah.
And their reviews were like shitty. It was like, it was like pretty mixed.
Oboes, we don't think you're shitty.
So,
no.
If you wanna, not oboes. That shoe.
Oh, okay.
People are like, I have 5 pairs of oboes, and these oboes blow donkeys. Like it was just like, So the thing is those are narrow compared to all the other oboes. So people bought them, and they were like, oh, they're so narrow, like yada yada. The other ones, they don't fit anything like the other ones, and this and that, and
so
whatever.
They're like a lot different than what they normally would.
Right, right. They're a little bit different of a profile than what their other shoes have been. So I just got really lucky because their other shoes would probably be too wide for me, and I probably wouldn't have really liked them. So then I was like, cool. Well, all right, sweet. So then I just took the money that I won from the tournament, and I just got another pair. So then they showed up. I got home on Friday. They showed up on Saturday, and I was like, life couldn't get better. This is pretty good. Yeah. So now I have a first round pair and a second round pair. So every tournament round, will be in those shoes. So I just imagine the aces that are going to come out. It's going to be nuts. It's just going to be.
Are you going to play your first round in one pair of oboes,
Yeah.
and your second in the second pair?
Yeah, and I'm going to have to mark the one pair so I know like that they match up. So I don't end up with like.
Are you going to do the Darren Classic?
Probably.
With just a big fat Sharpie or something?
Yeah, like a 1 on them. Yeah. So
Dude, I wonder, they might be able to make a pat, or they have a patch you could just iron on the shoe.
I think the
sweet.
Sharpie is going to be more my style. It's going to be more consistent with my life. Because I don't want to be out there and like the first pair left foot and the second pair right foot. Like that doesn't even seem to make sense. So yes, I'm super excited about that. I wore them second round this last Sunday. I played a tournament too, and I wore them second round, and I did well, and then I ended up playing just a shit ton afterward, and they were great. They worked out really well.
Yeah.
Right. So so I helped Phil with his van before you guys left.
Yeah.
We put in like a bed platform. We kind of finished up the floor trim, and we made a platform to put the cooler refrigerator thing on in between the seats.
Yeah. The flooring that's in there is sweet.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
The whole thing is sweet.
Yes.
It needs like a little bit of like the way that he went about it is just goofy because he's like, well, I'm going to build the walls before I put in all the structure. So then I think at some point, like
after traveling with Phil, that thought process makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
Based on how he is as a person.
Yes.
Yes.
All of it. Like the more time you spend with Phil, it all makes sense, which is great because he's an amazing human being. I love Phil.
Yes.
So we did that, and then you guys were loading up and going, and then I talked to you when you guys were on the way out there, and then you guys got there. So how did your prep at MVP go? Because we've spent almost an exhaustive amount of time on the podcast going over like prep.
Yeah.
So you got out there. You'd never played the course before.
Right.
Right.
I've only watched it for like years and years now.
Right.
And a lot of it was, I don't know, there was like this weird nostalgia I had the whole time. And also like a level of uncomfortability just because I haven't played it. And it's me getting more of a sense, and this was something I wanted to talk to, was just like disc golf courses in general, and then those that are in Michigan. Because this is like, I knew it had 2 courses, like 2 layouts or whatever. Really, It has like 4 or 5, or like really infinite.
Yeah.
Like, but legitimately you have like red, white, blue, and gold, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we played gold for that tournament. And a lot of holes, I was just curious to see, like, this looks farther than what it looks like, or shorter. It's like, it's about accurate. And it was a mixture. So like hole 1 was exactly how I thought it was, maybe like a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then 2 was kind of the same thing. 3 was a lot shorter than I thought it was.
It was funny when they did the practice round with Yuli and Big Germ.
Yeah.
And they were like Bushnelling all the stuff of like how off the signs are.
Yeah.
Because of the years of like them moving stuff or whatever. And obviously they don't make new signs every year.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool. And I look forward to them doing that at other tournaments.
Yes.
Because even when they came to CCR last year and they did the coverage, that one hole was like 325. And on coverage, it was like 450.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I throw a Firebird on this. Like, you know, because like sometimes you're watching on coverage, you're like, holy shit, they're throwing this.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you realize like, no, just what they're actually putting up is the thing is completely off. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be cool, like as they go through. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it was just like weird, but the signage they do there is fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like the work they put in there is awesome. And the people who like, everything's just sweet about it. It's
Dodge said they spend over $10,000 a year improving the course every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know Marshall Street was literally like a 30-second walk from that course.
It used to be the Marshall Street Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Back in the day.
Yeah. I didn't like
I just learned this.
Yeah, I know. You learned it when I learned it when you watched the fucking coverage. Yeah.
Whatever.
Like,
Marshall Street was my number one supplier for a long time. I'd always try to support them.
They're closed right now. Like I think you can shop online or whatever, but to walk in you can't because they're under construction. They have a giant building in their parking lot now that I think they're moving like the stuff in the house to this giant warehouse that's already built, but they're like in the middle of it. And then they have like 4 courses or something there too. But you have like a putter course and like it's actually really cool. They just don't have any water or anything to throw over. But yeah, anyways, so Where was I at? So
Hole
like
4.
four.
Yeah.
4 was this exactly what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Just like get lucky kind of through there, but it's not entirely lucky. Like hit your line and then just hope for the best or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's some other sneaky routes that if I had more just time to play, I probably would have thrown others. But again, like sticking to my game plan, that was still like, well, it's a little dicey, but I'm just like, I'm trying to focus on like, this is my game plan. Let's stick to it. Because eventually, like, I'm going to figure out what it is I need to be doing and be more comfortable in that, in executing. And then 5 is like, it's as long as it says. It's not a very far shot. Like if you have a 300-foot sidearm to go over the water, like you can get there every time. For whatever reason, like it didn't matter how I was throwing it, like fast, slow, whatever. Like I could get a zone there, I can get a PD2 there, and anything in between. But no matter how I threw it, I was always short.
Yeah.
I was always short, like in the circle, like in practice, in the tournament, and whatever.
Yeah.
Phil lost, I think, 8 discs on that hole.
Yeah.
The only time he didn't lose a disc on that hole was when he wasn't playing with me. But every time I was in the vicinity, he lost discs.
Yeah.
Dude.
When I talked to, I spent a lot of
funny.
time with Phil this weekend.
Yeah.
We had an extended day, which we'll get into later.
Did he tell you about his car?
But his car? No.
No? Oh my God. You got to ask him.
But the amount of discs that he has, like I know I have this, but the way that he does it is different than I do.
Yeah.
It just kind of blows me away.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he gave me for helping him out with the van, he gave me like a couple of wasps in his own, and I was like, dude, these are great. And he's like, yeah, I got like 28 of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, what about these zones? He's like, I got like 17 of them. And then like when he brings out like his practice putters, like I sold him 10 or 12 last year or something. The like Jawbreaker Challengers. And when he gets to the course, like he brings out his little portable basket to practice putting, and then it's like literally like armfuls of like you know the putters that he warms up with, and he just like sets them down. I'm like, yeah, you've kind of taken what I do to a different level. Like I have way more molds, but he probably has the same amount of shit, just less molds.
Yeah, he's got like what I'm aspiring to do.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's what I'll try to do now moving forward.
Yeah,
this is just the history of getting there. Yeah, which is scary.
That's okay,
but whatever.
It'll be all right.
So he threw a bunch out of bounds there.
Yep.
Into the water.
Oh yeah, like even once, I think in a couple, like I videoed him a handful of times or whatever, and just egging him, like, you can do it, whatever.
Yeah.
Just like,
you got this.
Yeah, you got it, man. Don't worry. Hits a tree, like goes way the fuck left into the water or whatever. So that's 5, 6, way shorter than what I thought.
Yeah.
Like I can throw a putter and get there or whatever. Like, and it's nothing crazy. It's elevated, so as long as you just hit your line and you get something on it, you can get just straight down the path and give yourself a putt. And then 7 was about what I thought it was. I remember, like, I go back to that hole, and one of the first times ever watching this tournament, it was like Nico, like old superhero of mine or whatever, who's like recently dwindled because of every interaction I've had with him, was just kind of like, well, that kind of sucks, man. Like, yeah, like I still like root for him all the time.
Yeah.
Like I still love him as a player. Like there's that nostalgia. It's like, this is the guy who I like modeled shit after. But every time I've gotten the chance to like talk to him and been like kind of fanboy, but like, hey, how's it going? It's very like, why the fuck are you talking to me?
Right.
Kind of thing, which is like, that's kind of lame.
Yeah. You might have caught him on a bad day.
He has a lot of bad days then, because I've had more than a handful of opportunities.
You might have caught him on a few bad days. Let's give everyone the benefit of the doubt. He might have been going through some stuff.
He's 100% for bad days every time
with
I talk
you.
to him. Yeah. He just fucking hates me. This fucking brown guy. I don't know. So on this hole though, I remember he was throwing like a destroyer and like parked the shit out of it. And I remember looking on there, it's like, oh my God, like whatever. And then like getting there, it was not as long. I mean, it's like kind of what I was imagining, but I was thinking it was a lot further than what it really is.
Yeah.
But it's a sweet hole. It's designed really well, and there's still like ways you can get up and down. Like even if you're like off to the left and right, and this is where I think Michigan needs to like kind of take note, is if you get rid of all like the bushy tree puby shit and you're still off the fairway, it's still really hard to get to the basket. Like on the left side there, I was there, I think 2 of my rounds, and like getting up to there's lines. There's for sure lines. It's just hitting the fucking thing
Yeah,
is difficult.
Here, there's a lot of courses that are like fairway or blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's Michigan golf is what we've dubbed it, at least. Because we love that shit, I guess.
I didn't hit my line. I'm going to bleed.
Yeah.
I'm going to bleed soon, I can tell.
Yeah. I'm going to have less skin than when I started this round, legitimately. Then 8, which is a sweet hole, too. Like, that was very, like, oh, my God. Like, I've seen this, I don't know how many times, and this and that and whatever. I parked it 2 out of the 3 times. I went OB 1 time the whole time I was there, like in practice and in tournament rounds or whatever. The first time I was there, I parked it. No, I think it was long OB in the first round. Either way, when we got to the tee pad, there was a bunch of spectators in the back. It was one guy who had like 10 cutouts or whatever, and we were sitting there, and it was like, what's good? Like these people, like. It looked real, and you're like far away enough. You're like, I can't really tell like what's going on. And then we're walking. Oh, it's just a bunch of like life-size cutouts. It's like a bunch of Eric Oakleys and whatever. Yeah, it was really funny. But that hole was.
That's the one over the water you're talking about.
Yeah,
I saw that on coverage. That's funny.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one, there was a wind shear, is what seems to make that hole really difficult.
Yeah.
Because they were saying it's not like when they shot it with the laser. It's like I don't even think it's 300 feet.
Yeah.
But it's just like as it gets out over the water.
Far.
Yeah, as it gets out over the water, then it like just drops or doesn't or whatever.
Yeah, like I threw a putter hyzer every time on that hole, and my second round with Yuli, I went long, and I like legitimate like hyzer, it just like kept going. Yeah, like it was just like so this isn't super far.
If you had to play it over again now, would you just throw the grenade?
No, I'd still throw putter.
Okay.
Because grenade is much more room for error. Yeah. Like if you just miss it, like it's just where in the water is it hitting?
Yeah.
This at least you can go long, and I think it was because of Paul, with whatever ruling had happened, that the last round was like, this is how you play hole 8. Like everybody gather around. They like printed out like stacks of just hole 8, and it was very simple, and it was exactly like how I went into it. Was like if you land in the water that you're throwing over, your OB and you go to the drop zone. If you land in the water again, you go to the short drop zone. If you ever go across the OB line, whether you're wet or dry long, you play it from where it was last in bounds.
Yes.
And it was like, that seems real clear cut and dry.
Right.
I guess not for other people. Whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, so hole 9.
It would be weird if it was the other way.
Yeah. It'd be very strange.
Yeah. Like if you go over that road, like the road and over is OB.
Yeah.
But if you actually go over that road and then hit like this other pond over there, it's a totally different thing than just being OB.
Yeah. No, it's just OB.
You just went OB that way. It doesn't matter what happens after you cross that line. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you don't make it, there's one penalty. If you go over, it's another penalty. It doesn't matter where you land when you go over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you hit one of the cardboard cutouts, you have to take your pants off. You're not just out of bounds.
Take their pants off and replace it with your pants.
Yeah, you have to put your pants on one of the cardboard cutouts, like shoes on a electric wire in the ghetto.
Yeah,
be good. Yeah, just collecting a pants.
So hole 9, a really hard par 3.
Yeah,
like I don't.
Is that the one with the stone wall to the right?
Yeah, so it's up. You're throwing up and over the hill, and then it's off to the right, and then it's on like a peninsula.
Yes.
Yeah.
Phil hit that sweet putt during warm-ups. I saw that little video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That was an ode to, I forget what his name is, but he's the guy who like called an ace, threw his shot, and then after he threw, he just walked up with his finger in the air, and it aced, and he just walked all the way to it, grabbed his disc, and walked to the next tee. I don't remember whoever that guy is.
Did he take his pants off?
I don't know. He should have.
I would have at that point.
Seriously. I don't know. I mean, if he could take his pants off while walking, that'd be impressive.
No, right when you throw the disc.
Yeah.
As soon as it clears your hands.
No.
You just start undoing it.
Yeah, but then he can't just one it the whole way.
One hand. Like you're riding a bull.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
As you're like untying your... All right. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah. So that hole was not as long as I thought.
Yeah.
When I got there, it's like, oh, this seems like you could reach it, but only on like the best of
the
best
perfect
lines.
shot. Yeah.
So like taking a 3 on that, like even Germ was saying, it's like just call it what it is. It's a par 4. Like it's not a par 4 because of distance. It's a par 4 because of how difficult and just how it plays.
Yeah.
Like 2ing that, like the level of execution on your tee shot to give yourself a putt or whatever, or you to it just in general is like, fuck yes. It's not like, oh, I just like whatever.
Other guys.
Yeah. I know Tristan Tanner threw a grenade on that hole with a witness, I think, and he went like OB long, like he crossed over there. So I think he took an easy par, because he crossed in bounds. He threw like a witness, like something crazy flippy. So he throws it like this, I believe, too, and he just like up and over, and it like flipped up this way, and then just rode all the way, or some shit. I don't know. We just heard like the remnants afterwards because we were right behind them. And then I had some drama on that hole with the the spotters. And I was playing with, who was it? Oh, it was the third round. I was playing with Marshall and a couple other guys or whatever. And anyways, I threw my tee shot. I was up on the hill, kind of on the backside where one of the shorter pads is. And I throw a zone sidearm. And they're all like behind me watching. And then I throw it and I was like, okay, whatever. Like it didn't turn enough, but it's at least like going over and then going OB, because it was going at the tree short side right, like the big tree, and it cut right, and then it went straight across, and then they go and spot, and like they're trying to figure out, and then they mark me way back, and we're like, we cross, like I didn't say it, was like I asked them, and then they said, hey, he crossed that corner, and the guy's just like, no, you didn't. It's like, well, I don't know, the angle, what you're looking at or whatever, it's like, maybe you can't see it because we're looking at it in like a straight line. You're looking at it perpendicular to it. So like, I don't know, maybe it's just harder to see. I don't know. But realistically, your words are just suggestion.
Right.
It's up to us to have a group decision. And all of us say he crossed right there, and he like just threw the flag like on the wall or whatever. And I go up there and like, it wasn't even me putting. It was somebody else putting. And the dude's over here like bickering still. And the guy makes his putt, thankfully. And then when he's done, I was like, hey, are we good? Like to try to call him out on it. And he was like, yeah, no, we're fine. It's like, okay, sweet. And I like took the flag and I walked it all the way to him and said, thanks, just to kill him with kindness, whatever. Right. But yeah, that was just like kind of weird, like that interaction. Then the other spotter, like every time I make a point, like, hey, thanks for spotting, I appreciate it. Yeah. And the other one was just like, yeah, whatever. Like it was a very shitty attitude. It's just like, wow, okay, like, cool, I'll go fuck myself. Cool. Yeah, I don't know, you can have fun being shitty over here, I guess, all day and let it ruin your day, whatever. But that hole is awesome. I like that a lot. Yeah. And then I didn't know that it got moved over to the right. Like, I don't know if I don't remember or whatever, because remember the basket being a much easier position. Yes. Where it's at now is like, very you tricky. Still throw the same upshot to there, and now you have like a death putt. So like just that change on the green is sweet. Yeah. Yeah.
You only really have a death putt.
Yes.
Or it's like hanging on the wall. Like, oh, it didn't go out. And then you're like,
it's dicey. Yeah. So I think even more so now, it's like, it's more of a par 4 really than a 3. And then I forget what they said when I don't know if they lasered it on 10 during their warm-up round, but 350 feet, dude, that legitimately plays like 500.
You're talking about the Castle Hall?
Yes. Yeah. Dude, like it's bonkers. But also, like, my timing's better now that I'm back and I'm like working on it a little more. I'm feeling it more. I was telling you earlier about it a little bit. But like, I threw a putter halfway up the hill, and then all my drives were like, I outdrove myself with that putter instead of my drivers. Yeah. And I just laughed because it was just like, I was mad, and I was just like, dude, guaranteed, like I can get this putter somewhere. Like my timing with this putter is like yada, yada, yada. So where I could throw it and whatever, and I'm fine with it. I'm just going to fucking do that. So I did that the last round, and as soon as I threw it, I just laughed. I was like, that's farther than any of my other drives. I'm like, what do you throw? A Mercy. I'm like, what's that? It's a putter. And like, he's like, holy shit. But I was legitimately mad. Yeah. Just because of that. Yep. So like, easy 3. I took a fucking, I think 6 on it the day before with Yuli. And I got wound up on that hole just because everybody's like walking up the fairway. I'm still like trying to find my disc, but I'm also using this like not everyone's looking for it. So I get extra time. So, and then they're like, hey, no, I didn't find my disc. I'm just over here fucking wandering around for whatever. Right. So like we find my disc, it's up in a tree, and then I'm flustered because it's like, I don't really have a line. and the only way to get there is like this kind of whatever. And I'm cool with like throwing that, because if I throw it over here, I mean, realistically, I should have done that anyways. But if I would have executed the other one, it's that weird balance of disc golf. So I threw it, hit a tree again, got stuck up in there too. And anyways, I like scrambled my way up for a 6. And eventually, like, we all just start laughing again because we created a 3-card backup on that hole. Like,
yeah,
there was nobody there. And then we finished the hole. We look back, there's just a pile of people there.
Yeah. But they were all social distancing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that hole played infinitely farther than I thought it did.
Yeah.
Like, Eagle and Ricky or whatever, when they were like, yeah, they went past this hole and they had like a death putt like outside the circle 1. I was like, the fuck? Like,
yeah,
that's crazy. Like, I think given enough practice and like reps on that hole, I think getting up and putting even from like on top of the hill is doable. But I think this hole plays way farther than I thought, and the sign says 350, and then just like combining it just like made my brain not be able to see the shot that I need to throw.
Yeah.
And that's why I threw the putter, and it's like, if I can get a putter halfway up this fucking thing, I can get a driver farther than this.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know,
No.
whatever.
They have a mini version of that hole at West Shore Community College out in Ludington. So when we played states last year, you play this course, which is fine. Mm-hmm. And then you get back into these back holes, which are total nonsense. There's no lines.
Okay.
It's sort of like someone went out there with concrete and baskets, and they were like, here's a hole. And you're like, do you even play disc golf?
I've heard of it.
But when you come out of that, like when you're finally free from this terrible idea that they came up with, it's that shot.
Okay.
It's just like a miniature version of that.
Yeah.
Way miniature version of it. But it's the same thing. You're looking at the distance, and it's like a rip. And you like rip it out there, and you're like still almost pin high, you know. And then if you throw too much of a hyzer, that one I couldn't tell because the video coverage, and you're not there in real life. But that one, if you throw the hyzer to get like up, out, and around, and then you hit, you got a big rollaway risk.
Yeah.
So I don't know with the rollaway with the castle. If you slam it into that wall, did anybody slam it into the wall or no? No.
But also, that wall is not as big as I thought. Like, that putting green, it's scary for sure, but it's not as crazy as I thought it was. Like, going into it, like, I was up against the wall in one of my practice rounds, and I was just like, fuck. And then I get up there and it's like, oh, this isn't that bad. Like, I can reach up and like almost dunk it. Yeah. So it's like, cool. If I'm up against the wall, I have nothing to worry about. I just have to be comfortable with like flipping it in or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, that hole's a lot longer than I thought.
It plays a lot longer than you thought.
Yeah. So then 11.
Hold on. Elevation on the castle. Is it more elevation than 13 at Toboggan? Is it more elevation than 2 at Toboggan?
No, it's probably more along the lines of 13.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, not as much, but still, like, it's a lot. Like, I'm looking up at it. Yeah. Yeah. Like, watching it on coverage and then just being like, oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Like, it's weird that it's so hard to capture just elevation.
Yeah. The coverage never gets it.
Yeah. Never. You can get like remnants of it, kind of. But yeah, that hole is sweet. But I think I would like it better in like the old position where it was a par 4. And then you're actually playing like an L hole. So you got the castle up here and then the tee pad's over here. I think is actually a much more difficult hole and cooler in the sense of whatever. I think this is just kind of, I don't know,
a blowout.
Whatever. Yeah.
Big blowout.
It's weird. Yeah.
Sounds weird.
Whatever. So 11, also a very cool hole.
Yeah.
Also another one where it's just like, I'm not comfortable enough. Like, that's kind of the moral of the story. I'm not comfortable enough with a lot of the tee shots where I need to be, what I'm throwing, what I want to throw versus what I kind of am having to throw, and a mixture of a bunch of whatever. Like, I would have played a lot better if I would have just played more conservatively. Yeah. But I don't want to, because like how I normally play isn't very conservative. So
you didn't drive all the way out there to lay up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I could have played more smart and placed better. And it's just like, I don't know where I'm going to just like sit and this is what I want to do, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. So anyways, hole 11, 750 or something like that. Downhill, you can mash on it, but you still need placement. Yeah. You need to be somewhere good to be able to attack, because those Christmas trees are fucking everywhere, and the landing zones are like kind of there, but you need distance and accuracy, so on and so forth. And then the thing that was getting me for sure there was the second shot to the basket looks way longer than it is. It's still like a long-ish shot, but how it looks and feels like when you're playing it, it's like, I have to fucking mash it there. So then it's like, can I even really get there? Am I just going to lay up, or so on and so forth? So again, another like, I just need reps in on this.
Right.
So I should have probably practiced more second shots from where I want to land.
Yeah.
To get to like, how am I going to attack it from like over here? What can I throw to get there? How hard is it to get there? Is it impossible? Is it doable? Yada, yada, yada. I think I threed it 0 times in total. And I watched it get threed like a lot. And how I watched it get threed was the reason was like, this isn't like, they're not throwing crazy shots. They're not like going ham on their second shot to get up in there. It's
right.
like a very kind of relaxed throw, whatever.
Yeah. And
I'm just like, I have to heave-ho this thing over there. It's still like 800 feet away or something weird. I don't know. And then 12, you definitely have a huge advantage if you just can throw further. Because when you can clear the hill or whatever and you have a, like, you can see the basket, it's an easier shot. And like, I think my further shot, I was still like not able to see the basket at all. I think my warm-up shots, I did what Germ did in the practice round with Yuli. Just ripped it over, hit the tree, and like punched through somehow or whatever. That was great. But yeah, that hole's sweet. I like it. I don't think there's any hole here that I mean, probably the castle hole is the one that I don't like the most, probably. And still, I like it. I just would like it more, I think, from the other pad. But so 11, 12, 13 is down the hill, straight shot. Not nearly as long as I thought it was.
Yeah.
And this is, okay, when I started throwing the Mercy was about the time when Ricky was throwing the Mercy for whatever. And then he threw a Mercy on this hole and parked it. And I was like, oh, they can do that. So I'm going to start throwing this on more whatever. It's literally, that is where Mercies came from. That I was just like, I really am like liking, this is the start of me liking them. And then I just fell in love with them.
And the 2 Chainz song.
Yeah. And 2 Chainz. Lamborghini. You know the rest. So,
his broads are foreign. Anyways.
Yeah. That hole's awesome.
Yeah.
I think the second or first round, Phil threw his Buzz SS way too far. Way too far.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I wasn't there. I just heard the story. And one of the guys I played with on the third round was there to witness where it went. And he navigated through all the trees off to the right, because the next hole is off to the right. And he went like 100 feet, like straight into the water. And the guys on the next pad were like, what was that? Like, oh, is the guy's disc from back here? And Phil's like looking for it, thinking he's like off to the right in the road, have to pitch up to take a 3. And they were like, no, you went into the water. It's like, really? I was like, yeah, it landed like way over there. It's like, are you sure? Like, did you see it? It's like, yeah. It was like a purple, blue, whatever. He's like, yeah, it's way the fuck out in the water. He ended up getting it back too. The guy who was diving like pulled out. I'm sure you saw pictures on Facebook. If you didn't, it was mountains of discs, like hundreds, like by the end of the weekend that were pulled out. Some from the tournament, lots from throughout the year that were lost because Maple Hill.
Right.
But yeah, that hole's sweet. It's a really cool hole. I like the green on it. Real fair, whatever. But yeah, it was not nearly as long as I thought. And then same with the next hole. Fucking 13, right? Across the water.
14
across the water.
Yeah.
It was another hole that wasn't as long as I thought it would be.
Yeah, because to me, it, like on coverage at least, and the distance of it is like 400 and something across the water.
Yeah.
But you're slightly elevated.
Mm-hmm. You're more elevated than I thought you were.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, just by the shots they were throwing and by how I know that they're very efficient. But in the shots that they were throwing and then watching like how much they're putting into them and how they're getting there, and then when someone sawed it off, like how short they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if someone sawed it off, you're like, oh, they still weren't that short.
Right.
So it seemed like maybe it's not, you know.
Yeah. There's just the branches you have to deal with because you have to keep it up high, and then there's this dumb little one of these stupid branches that I found one time, and I still hit that, and I was still putting from like 60 feet or something.
Yeah.
But that hole's cool. That was a very nostalgic hole.
Yeah.
Like I threw on my last round, I threw a D2 that I thought was like pretty beefy, and I really got a hold of it, and it came out on hyzer, and it just stood up and then just like rode on this slight anhyzer the whole way, and then it just like kept drifting to the right. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I put a good, like, out of all the drives I had, that was like one that I got something into the disc, and you're just not doing your job.
Yeah.
OB, very OB, whatever.
Did you get it back?
No, I think that was the one I didn't get back.
Yeah.
There's a few.
He sold you out anyways.
Whatever. Fucking bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody's not gonna love you.
Yeah.
Whatever. No one's even gonna find you. You're gonna stay in the muck for a while.
To me. You're dead to me.
Yeah. So that's 14, 15. 15. Phil said it reminded him of 17 at Hunt's Hideaway.
Okay.
Which I could kind of see ish. It, like, if you lengthened Hunt's Hideaway 17, I could see it. But it's just like more trees, more.
15 is the one that KJ aced, right? Fell and aced?
No, that's 16.
Ooh.
Yeah. I thought it was 15.
Yeah, it's 16.
And that, yeah, it is 16. Because, and then I remember it's like, this is the hole? And they're like, no, 16.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit. Like, really? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I saw it. I was like, okay, I still don't believe it.
So he's
but
saying it's a
whatever.
longer version of 17 at Hunts. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. Whatever. Really cool hole. Like, it's not as dicey as it looks on camera.
Yeah.
The right side actually opens up a good amount. So you can actually, what was it? I was throwing a buzz I got from Phil that's pretty beefy, like on an anhyzer, kind of over that way, and then just letting it. However, if it drifts more, great. But even if it just stays that direction, just falls over there, you're still in the circle as long as you miss the trees.
Yeah.
But I think I got that hole 2 out of the 3 rounds. I hit like an 80-footer my first round or something because I hit one of the trees. And I was like, fuck. Made a really nice jump putt.
Yeah.
I had 2 that round, which were sweet. One was to like kind of save birdie. The other one was for sure to save par because my 2 shots were bad.
Yeah.
Very bad.
I think that's safe to assume when you're hitting an 80-foot jumper to save par. The preceding shots probably weren't hot fire. Yeah.
Yeah, you right.
Yeah, you're right.
Whatever. All right, so 16 is where KJ slipped and died and came back to life and aced the hole.
Yeah.
Hole is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Hole does not play as long as I thought it would.
Yeah.
I got a putter to outside circle 1, like on the right side, whatever. And I was just like, okay. And this was where I was like also mad again, where it's just like I can't get something on one of these other faster discs that I could for sure get there. And then I throw this chunky fucking cheeseburger like farther than a fast disc drive.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Like, whatever. But yeah, that hole did not, like, it's long for sure. It's a really nice designed hole, but I thought it was like some crazy length to whatever get there. And then like Girthy's like, I just throw a Firebird to get 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nutty.
Yeah, I watched the Firebird shot.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what it was. And they're like, oh, there's a Firebird. And I was like, it reminded me of when I played with you and you threw 11 on Firefighters many years ago and it went like to the parking lot.
Yeah.
It like went over the river and it was like dead flat the entire way. You're like, I just throw this Firebird. And I was like, I just hate you.
I think it was a red Firebird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like over because it went straight and I was thinking like, oh shit, it's going to make it there. And then I remember it was like, oh no, that's totally over the river.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. Fucking guy.
Yeah. Cause I think like at that point I could like Nico a rampage and get there.
Yeah.
Like I'd like come like completely unglued over it on this and do the like cheater flex shot and I could get there. And you're like, Firebird. Oh shit, it went 80 long.
Wow.
My B. Oops. Here, I got you a new purse. Good luck. Yeah. Like, okay, cool.
God.
So that's a long one. You got
Yeah.
down there with the Mercy. And
Yeah.
then you got to 17.
Yeah. 17 also not as long as I thought.
Yeah.
Like the old pin location where it was like a hard 3 and it was like 480 or something. It's like I feel like I could get there because I was kind of getting there, but I'm trying to get more to the right instead of straight across. But this was one where it's like a really attackable, like pretty easy par 4. Bigger arms can go for eagle pretty safely. I think I threed that 2 out of the 3 rounds as well. For sure, the hardest part is the elevated green, and then it like slopes way down afterwards. I remember my third round, I bad tee shot, like short and to the right. Or no, I was left. And then I threw a mercy and I was like, I have to keep it low because if I stay way too high, it's going to glide way past it. I threw it exactly how I wanted to. And I was like, all right, that should be putting like short in the circle. And then as I'm creeping up over the hill, I'm realizing it's not. Like it's probably for sure long, maybe in the circle, maybe at the next tee pad or something. Please have hit the big rocks that are by it.
Right.
I don't know. And it was circle's edge, and I still had a putt. And like previously, I had all these putts where it's just like, I'm trying to talk myself more, like as I'm playing rounds, like just what I want to do, just to myself, just to say it out loud. And a lot of it's like, I'm gonna run this putt type deal instead of like thinking it, and then I like go back and forth in that battle. So this was another one.
Shot accountability.
Yeah,
what I call that.
Yeah,
verbalizing what you're actually doing.
Yeah,
so you have the accountability of performing that.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you were to ask me how would you play this hole or throw this hole.
Yeah,
this is what I would do. This is what I would throw, but I just do that with myself.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's very very valuable.
Yeah.
Yes. Then you don't lie to yourself.
Yeah,
and you don't get into that. What am I doing here?
Yeah. So I got to that, and like we're on 17, so I've already had many attempts at putts, jump putts, whatever, and a lot of them were just, I don't know, potato hand or like I'm pulling it right or whatever the hell. So I get to here, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna make this, and I hit it, and I just laughed because I said it halfway through the flight. And it was just like, oh, it's in, like, what a fucking, like, this is where I make the putt. Like, all right, sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
Got it.
Yeah. It was a great putt, like, super clean, pure, whatever. I just laughed just because it was like, I literally just needed to do this. And then it's like running it. And all the other ones, I'm like, like sign language or something.
Right.
Yeah. 17, I enjoy. 18 plays a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Like, getting out to the field, to the trees out there past the bridge is like, it's not so much the distance that's hard. It's how you have to throw the fucker to get there because you can't really Nico it.
Yeah, because you'll hit the stuff on the right.
Yes.
Yep.
Because also stuff on the right, but also the trees immediately off the left from the tee pad are very close.
Yeah. And the height on that is weird coming off the pad.
Yeah. I saw a couple skip shots off the rock. Yeah. For sure.
I saw KJ in the skins match just right into the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. He also ate shit. Yeah. Like a couple holes previous.
Yeah.
Like
I think I could take him on that hole that day.
Yeah. Specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throw him on the ground really hard and then be like, all right, next hole's $20, bro. Let's go. I got you. Is it swelling yet? It is? Okay. 30.
Yeah. That hole's sweet. Like, it's really cool. I think it's really, again, well designed for attacking or not.
Yeah, it's a great finishing hole.
Yeah.
Great finishing hole.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then watching how people play that hole, or how people would play a lot of holes, actually gave me more insight of like, all right, this is where I need to be, and this is basically how I need to play to compete at this level. So it was, again, another like really eye-opening experience, because what they're doing isn't anything I feel like I can't do.
Right.
It's just like you need to play conservative when you need to, but also like there's holes you just need to attack, kind of
throw the
like,
shot.
You just gotta fucking do it, and if it's not, like, whatever. So like it eventually became like, what I need to do is play my game and like how I throw, and then just like take that as like a learn, because you're gonna develop over time. And then me just kind of playing, like, if I'm playing as me and then I'm trying to do what you do, that puts me in the weird state of like, well, this isn't what I want to do, so I feel like weird about it. And even if third party is like, well, this shot is more risky and here's why, and this one's X, Y, and Z and here's why. Well, like, if you're more comfortable throwing technically the harder shot, but you have confidence in it, you should be throwing that shot regardless.
It's percentage of results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was more so like what I need to do, instead of like kind of playing other people's game or whatever, like what I think other people would do. It's like, just what would I do?
Yeah.
Type deal.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that there. And hole 1 is one that comes to mind, where it's just like, I should have just been doing what I would do. Because 2 of the rounds I like ripped my drive and I just threw it low. Like for my last round, threw it directly into the pond, because it was just like too scared to go high and this and this and this, when really it's just like I should have just thrown like overstable, like up high this way, because this is just what I would do. Do my first 2 shots out of the car. Like we showed up at 7 a.m. there. We got out of the car, threw in the fog, and I cleared the water both times, like fresh out of the car.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't as far as I thought it was. And then the 2 rounds.
I can make it seem that far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this, like 400? I can make it look like 1,000.
Throw it right into the ground right in front of me. I don't even need to try.
Yeah. So like seeing like Germ and KJ and whoever throw like past those trees, past like beyond the pond, great fucking drive, but nothing like, oh, I couldn't do that on whatever.
Right.
Like it's still gonna take great energy transfer into it, but it wasn't anything like, what the fuck? Like if they were getting to the mouth, then like Simon or whatever,
right.
and it's just like, okay, right. Cool.
Or
like,
putting back on the castle hole. You're like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Sweet.
I could spend a lot of time at this. I'm never
maybe
at
some point. I don't know. Like when I get better at doing what I see in my head versus what I'm doing now. And like the last couple of days of throwing has been, oh, okay. Like I was telling you earlier, like doing the like stretching out with the barbell on our backs, using a lot of your core. When you were telling me that, like you should be using your core to like, you're letting it fall through, but you're using that. We
can't. We've already given up the towel secret.
Yeah, I know.
We can't give up all the secrets of training.
Yeah, I don't know. But like core usage. So
if we were gonna put a barbell and use it to strengthen our core,
yeah, this might be how
it would be something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't like. It's weird to think that I didn't actively do something like that because it seems like so benign. It was just like, yeah, obviously you do something like that, but it was more like engagement. So it's as setting up to get to planting and reaching back, and then just like using your core and like flexing it to bring this power through instead of just like flailing your body this way.
Yes.
I was getting a lot of like hilarious hyzers, like 17 at Seymour. I threw like probably the biggest, dumbest hyzer with a Firebird ever and like parked it, versus other times where it's like, all right, cool. Like it's there, but it's nothing like dumb. I like watching it. It's like, wow, that was way more high and way more hyzer than I thought. Like, and it still got there. Like, all right, cool. I'm more onto something.
Yeah.
So as long as I keep doing this, keep with the metronome, and then X, Y, and Z will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes logic.
Getting comfortable with drivers.
Yeah.
Need to do that. But overall, Maple Hill's fucking sick.
Yeah.
And playing courses like I've been playing has just made me realize more and more how much of these courses we don't seemingly really have in Michigan.
Yeah.
Like it's quickly become like, what, like I'll go through the site, like Riverbends, Firefighters, Wagner, Star, Addison, like even Hudson, whatever. It's just all like kind of, ugh.
Yeah.
Like seeing how it gets scored and then having played it firsthand and then just coming to, like, I don't know, playing Seymour yesterday. I was like, how would this play on the tour? And it's just like, dude, somebody would shoot like a 16.
Yep.
And maybe be leading or something.
But I think like, so I played Willow this weekend, right? So I never played there before. I shot you a text.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting up north and I was like, it's a slow go. So I was like, fuck, maybe I'll play, like I get back on Friday. Maybe I'll play a tournament on Saturday. At a course I've never played before. It makes logic. So I was like, I messaged you and I was like, hey, what's Willow like? And you were like, that's kind of deuce or die. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to play deuce or die, as previously stated on the podcast. And then I messaged Phil and I was like, have you played Willow? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, I heard it's kind of deuce or die. And he's like, yeah, kind of this and that. And then I looked on Thursday and there were 2 spots left and Phil had actually registered for the tournament.
Yeah.
So I hadn't played with Phil at a tournament all year because he had the broken foot and whatever it is. So I was like, well, I'm going to register so I can play with Phil just to do it. And if I go out and play it on Friday, like if I can get home in time, get out there and play. If I hate it, I can pull out.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So I registered and then Phil and I met up there on Friday to like play through it. So we played through the course twice and played some extra holes or whatever. And I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too when I played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. And I even told him that when we were playing. I was like, yeah, I had a certain feeling about the course and this and that. So Willow in general, if you've never played it, it's a lot of not long holes, but they're very demanding. If you miss the fairway, you're bleeding. Like not strokes, like human blood.
You as a person will have blood on the outside of you.
Yeah, and it's a lot of like really specific shots that I feel like I don't throw a lot of other places. And I actually really enjoyed the course and like how it was, you know what I mean, in terms of like the way that it was demanding or the way that it was. It makes you hit your lines. It makes you throw kind of specific shots because you don't have a lot of room anywhere. There's like a couple holes that are like open, but besides that, like you don't have a lot of room. And there's a couple of shots like I just don't have. Like I played the holes by the end of the weekend. I played the holes like 6 times.
Yeah.
And like 17, I never got a good drive on it. I have no idea like what the fuck I'm even doing. Like I went 5-4 in the tournament, and then Phil and I played it a couple times after the tournament, and I still went like 4-4, I think. Like I never threed it. It's a 250-foot hole.
Yeah.
But I liked the course. I liked playing it. I thought all the shots were like demanding and fair, and whatever. We played a couple rounds on Saturday. I came home, got some sleep, got everything together, and then I took my Red Wing bag out for Sunday because I didn't need to carry a lot of discs. And I was like, well, we'll go out and I'll use the bag. And I've only used it one time before ever. I've owned it for 5.5 years, and I was like, I'm going to take it out there.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was nice. I really enjoyed it. I'll probably use it more because it was actually really comfortable and did a great job. And I got a ton of compliments on it. I kind of had a moment of douchery, which I'm not proud of. I told Gabe about it, and I felt bad about it. Like an hour after it happened, I didn't think of it. But then, like, how I am, then I was like, fuck, I shouldn't. Like, I probably came off like a douche.
Yeah.
But I got there. I brought the bag out, and I was warming up. First round of, like, just throwing into, like, this area where there were some trees just to, like, move my body. This guy's like, oh, it's a pretty sweet bag. I was like, oh, thanks. And he's like, is it custom? And I said, yeah, I had a guy make it. He used to make bags. I don't think he makes bags anymore. No Excuses Disc Golf. Shout out. Greatest bags on the planet.
Yeah.
I said I had it made and it's great. He's like, yeah. And he goes, I forget what he said, but it was basically like, yeah, it's as nice as my bag. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I have whatever. Simon Lizotte something or this person. It was someone and some bag.
Yeah.
Like I was so just like out of my head when he said it. Like I didn't even hear what he said. And I was just like, yeah, no. Which was kind of douchey. And I was like, yeah, no. I was like, this is like the nicest disc golf bag ever made.
Yeah.
Like specifically.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, was it expensive? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, you know, I hit like some life achievement. I didn't want to get into it. I was like, I hit some life achievement. I wanted to get myself something nice to like commemorate the moment. I was going to get a Tim Selinsky grip bag. The only one I could find was $600. And the same thing, like Hades being sold for like $60 now. I was like, fuck spending all that money on something that someone bought for $300 and then sat on it. Like, I don't want to encourage that kind of behavior. I was like, I'll just spend the money and get the nicest bag ever made.
Yeah.
So then I just had to make that bag. So I was like, I kind of explained that to him.
Because that was for 5 years?
Yeah, that was for 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Phil was like, I played 3 holes warming up with him, and then we were getting ready to start the tournament. And he looked, he's like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, what's up with the bag? He's like, only you would have a bag nicer than your cart. And I was like, dude, you don't even know. Like, see this hat I'm wearing? It matches the embroidery on the bag.
Oh
like,
my God.
So whatever. We were joking around with it, but yeah, it's kind of douchey with that guy, and I felt bad about it afterward.
Sorry, guy.
Yeah, sorry, guy, whoever you are.
Yeah.
Like, you're a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Totally. Like, I don't know if it was just because my day was getting started, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But when you compared it to like whatever bag, I was just like,
yeah. Or it could just be the pure hatred, where it's like you say a grip bag is nicer than whatever, and like grip bags are like,
yeah,
God damn it.
Yeah. So anyways, I got a bunch of comments on it and everything, and it was cool. It wasn't distracting. Like I got stopped like a handful of times, but it wasn't really distracting, so it was cool. My first round went fine. I didn't do anything sweet. I was a little like tentative off the pad. My putting was fine. I don't know. I shot, I think, like 1 over course par or something, and I was tied with everyone for second place. Phil shot 4 under. Everyone else basically shot the same score.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. Second round, I'll do a lot better. Now I'm a little bit more familiar with the course. I'll eat some food, and then I'll attack it more. And second round, I played with Phil, and I just did a lot better. I was just a lot more aggressive, a lot more like confident off the pad. I fixed the issue. The issue I kept having is I was standing up as I was throwing. So I just kept pulling everything to the right. And then on my putts, it was the same mistake. So I was frustrated by the end of the first round, not because of my score, but because I had made the same mistake 5 times. So by the 4th time, I was like, I actually punched my hand for the first time in a tournament in like years. I was so pissed. But whatever. Second round I finished. I was like 3 under for the second round or something. And then I finished in 3rd because Corey Seelig went crazy and shot hot and then won the tournament. So it's Corey, then Phil, then me. So You want to check the battery?
Yeah. Pee
All right,
break.
cool.
A few inches later.
Traditional nut ball. That's what I started calling it. So anyways, I played the tournament with Phil. He was upset because he kind of fell apart a little bit late in the game.
How was his foot doing?
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. We killed it.
Yeah.
His foot and his whole body.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty good. So we played and it went the way that it went. I had some good shots. I didn't really have too many. The second round, I didn't really have too many like bad shots. There's a few lines that are tricky that are just shots I'm not used to throwing. My familiarity with the course was like, all right. Second round, I was like pretty happy with. There's still like stuff that I missed that I was like, fuck. But I like that it's so demanding that when you miss, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like I liked that. Because then there is a scramble to it. Even though it is a deuce or die course, there is still a scramble to it because it's not, I don't know, it's more demanding, I guess. So I actually really liked the course and I see a value in going to that course. It would be great to play that course for me, like 9-speed and slower. Mm-hmm. Just go out with fairway drivers, mids, and putters and play that course. And I think it would really help me develop.
Gotcha.
But after the tournament, Phil's very much like me in a lot of ways. And so we got done with the tournament and we were waiting around to see what was going on or for the final things to be uploaded. And he was like, do you want to play 16 through whatever while we wait? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. So I grabbed my bag. We go to 16. We play 16, 17. And the tournament was 1 through 17, 23, and 24. 19 holes again.
Okay.
And so we got done with 17. He's like, well, do you want to go to 23 or do you want to play 18? And I was like, well, let's play the other holes. So we played the other holes, got back to 24, and then started on 1 to kind of get back to Tournament Central. And right from the start when we started playing, it was like a 1-stroke game. Mm-hmm. So he was up by a stroke, then I tied him up, then I was up by a stroke, and we just kept playing then. Because it was like, all right, like we're on this.
Yeah.
And we both played like phenomenal golf.
Really?
Yeah, and I realized like I've been struggling since I changed my form with being tentative off the pad. But all of a sudden when I was just playing with Phil and I felt like I knew the course a decent amount, I was just going for everything. Mm-hmm. And like I fucked up some shots, like, but then my scramble game was good. I hit some huge putts, like everything was good. We played and it was like tied forever. So we started on 16, played through 24, started on 1, got all the way back through at 24.
Really?
And at 24, I finished up by 1, like I won by 1 stroke.
Gotcha.
But we had been like, the biggest lead was 2 strokes. He had a 2-stroke lead at one point, and then I came back and had a 2-stroke lead, and then he made up a stroke, and then we got to 24, and I had him by a stroke. So then it was like, as we were like rolling over to the car, he's like, do you want to play 1 again real quick? I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll give you a chance to tie.
Yeah.
So we played we played hole 1 and he tied.
Nice.
And then I was like, all right, we'll just keep playing this time for sure until there's like a winner. And once there's a winner, it's over.
Yeah.
So we played and finished on hole 4. And then on hole 4, I just got through. He didn't. Whatever it was, or hole 5, I forget. Yeah, I think it was hole 4. I threw like, there's not a big gap. Might as well have been a mile wide. I hit the fucking gap dead center every time I played the hole. Like all 6 or 7 times I played it, just like boom, right there.
Yeah.
And he caught the tree and kicked to the left, and then you're kind of in jail. So I took him by a stroke, but it meant that like we played 75 holes that day, and we tied.
Yeah.
Like including the 2 tournament rounds, because he beat me by 1 stroke in the tournament.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Then we played 30 whatever holes after the tournament, and I won by 1 stroke, and we had tied for the day. It was epic. But by the time we were done, like his body was not happy, like because you're using your muscles differently because your foot doesn't work properly, and just kind of wore everything out. But I realized something, and it helped me a lot when I was playing with him, of just like the confidence and determination that I had when I was just playing against him. I need to channel into my tournament golf.
Yeah.
Because I have the same thing like when we go out and play or when I go out and play, especially now that I'm a little bit more comfortable with my form. Like I was throwing the shot I know I can do and forcing myself to just execute it. Mm-hmm. And I executed it a lot. Like when we played the 30-something holes after we were done, we didn't keep score. We only kept score like relative to each other. Mm-hmm. But of the like 37 holes or something we played after the tournament, I took like 3 4s and no 5s. and had like 15 birdies.
Yeah.
Like I had to have shot like both of us because we were so close. Like the first run through, we had to have shot like 8 or 9 down.
Yeah.
Like playing all par threes.
That's hilarious.
It was crazy, dude. Like,
yeah.
so we got to one hole and like mine got caught up in the tree, but kicked out and wasn't in there. And then I smashed like a 50-footer, 60-footer or something because he was parked and I didn't want to give up the lead and we were tied. And so like I hit this putt and it was like that the whole time. Like he smashed a couple big putts, but it was more like off the pad. I just felt like much more aggressive and much more like in the zone of what you were talking about of like, you just have to throw the shot because I'm paying consequences for not just throwing the shot.
Yeah.
It's like on hole 1, I know I can just throw it over the water at Maple Hill. But when I'm concentrating, I'm like, oh shit, I hope I don't like leave it short over the water. And then I kind of take something off of it so I don't turn it over, so I don't whatever. And then it just lands in the water anyways.
Yeah.
I should have just thrown the fucking shot.
Yeah.
And then play it where it lands.
Right.
Like I'm confident in my scramble game. I'm confident in my putting. The only issue I've had since I changed my timing up is I've been tentative off the tee pad. And it gets me frustrated because then like my discs aren't flying the way that I know that they fly because they just don't have the zip on them. So I think I need to really address like when I'm on the tee pad, concentrating on like picking the disc that I need to throw and then committing to that shot and throwing it.
Yep.
Because when I was playing with him, like, dude, I hit like like not a very big gap with my XL, like the flippy one, like through the gap, up to flat, all the way past these trees, and then hooked over to the right. Like fucking like the shot when you're like, I'm going to try this and just nailed it. And then same thing on other shots, hyzers or flex shots or whatever. And I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I just need to do that.
Because I think a lot of it, thinking about how you do it now, or saying what you said now, I had a thought at one point where just playing it where it lies. I mean, that's what you have to do anyways. And people joke, well, I'll take that because it's like a good shot. It's like, well, you have to. Like, even if it was a bad shot. But just executing that versus like you're on the tee pad and you're already thinking like I'm going to be here and having that expectation versus I need to do this gives me the opportunity to be there or anywhere close. Like this gets me to in the circle because that's where you're really trying to get is in the circle, not in the basket or as close to the basket as possible. That's the ideal. Yeah, the closer you are, the better, but giving yourself that opportunity. So one of the things that I've been working on is not just like, this is where the basket is and I need to be like under the basket. Otherwise it's a bad shot versus like, how do I get there? Like this is the target, but how do I get there for a putt or whatever?
Right.
So I think that's helped me play like just better, just in the execution, being comfortable executing the shot, because that's something I've noticed when we were practicing, like you and I, but also Phil and I, we went and play. Like I played probably 4-ish rounds of practice worth of shots, and even still, it's like it wasn't enough, or I wasn't doing it efficiently enough. Yeah. But in how I was playing it was different than in the tournament slightly, just because it wasn't how we talked, like the perfection, like I need to be on this specific blade of grass or whatever. But it was still like I was trying to get too cute with things versus like I just need to do the first part of the shot instead of thinking about the end part of the shot. Well, this can't do the end part if you're not doing the first half of it. So,
yeah, mine's kind of, I get caught up in like, I don't want to throw a bad shot or I don't want to incur the consequences. So I'm looking at like, this is the shot that I can throw. And then all of a sudden I just start thinking of like, but I don't want to like leave it left, or I don't want to overturn it, or I don't want to do this. And it's the same thing like with the upshot where I was talking about, like all of a sudden I have this disease of like on my upshot, I'm thinking like, I just need to get around that tree. Yeah. And then I just throw it right into that fucking tree.
Yeah.
It causes me to like choke up on my drive because I'm thinking like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And for some reason we were both talking about like full rips, we don't transfer the same amount of efficiency because something's holding me back in terms of like, well, I don't want it to go bananas.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck bananas means. And I'm kind of like that on the tee pad. Like, I'm like, well, if I really rip this, like the results could be terrible. But the reality is I probably have more accuracy and better results throwing the full fucking shot off the tee pad than I do in this like compromised kind of
tentative whatever.
Because it's not a shot I practice. I don't practice throwing my drive at like a scared 70%.
Yeah.
I practice throwing my drive at like throwing my fucking drive.
Yeah.
So I keep incurring consequences because I'm trying to run away from other consequences. And I'm very rarely putting myself in the position where I'm actually going to like get the good.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I need to commit to that idea of like throwing the shot that's going to do what I'm really trying to accomplish and block out all the rest of what ifs and then play it where it lands.
Yeah.
But really commit on the tee pad of like, this is the shot, this is the disc, I'm going to throw this fucking shot.
Yeah.
You know, and like really committing to that, because when I was playing with Phil, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of a sudden, for some reason, I'm not as worried about like, oh, even though it was high pressure, it was way more high pressure for me than the tournament.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to fucking lose to Phil.
Yeah. And even still, like
just
you were in there as like, I just need to throw this shot, and that's all you had.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking do it, and I'm gonna beat him.
Yeah. Because the one thing that I've been also working on that a lot of people like I feel pride in is that I'm okay with like the luck that comes with a lot of stuff. Like you throw a shot and whatever, like there's a handful of people I've played with the last handful of tournaments where they get butthurt about the game's too lucky and this and that. Well, there's an element of luck in it. Like everybody's throwing a shot, and as soon as it's out of their hand, like they only have X amount of control over that flight. And in the long run, it's just like hoping that it does what you're envisioning that it's going to do. And then when it doesn't, are you surprised kind of thing? Like, oh, it hit this tree. Like I put 1% too much power. So it went 1% further, and that 1% gets you into that tree. And then something crazy happens. Like manage that better. Like that, there's just an element of luck in things. So when I hear people complaining about like the game's too lucky and this and that, how do you change that? Like, what? Like, I don't, it's just part of it. You can just get better at minimizing how much luck is involved.
Yeah.
Like that's it. But still, like luck is going to be a variable that you're going to have to deal with. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the amount of times where I was like, wow, I got really unlucky or this or that. I mean, it's more so I try to just take accountability for like me doing something. And that Simon said it in one of his videos where it was just like Germany versus America, like just the differences.
Yeah.
And
Great video.
Like, yeah,
Great video.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And one of them was like the amount of people, like he takes accountability for his shots. Like I fucked it up. I did this. I did that. And he's like, Americans are more easy. Like, oh, that tree got in the way or
the
this
wind.
or that or whatever. Yeah. And like we joke about it a lot, and it's really like we just take accountability. Like I feel like he brought that up, and I was like, I feel like I'm on his side of that fence or whatever. I feel like maybe I used to be more like I threw it perfect, and then just something bad happened. There's people here in Michigan that are really specific,
and
like
everywhere.
They threw the perfect shot, and then the tree grew outwards, or I don't know, like. I don't know. It's just funny.
To me, I always look at like it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Hole 2 at Addison.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit that tree, and it's gonna send my disc out of bounds.
Yeah.
Even if it's 2 out of 100 times, if I throw that shot enough times, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If I throw the drive, that's going to have a chance of getting to the basket. I could play a putter up there, and I would never hit that tree, but I would never get a deuce.
Right.
So if I'm going to throw it,
if you've never heard of risk reward before, well,
right.
There you go.
I'm going to throw it, it is eventually 1, 2, 3, 18 out of 100 times going to catch the inside of that one tree, and it's going to shoot it straight across, and it's going to slide out of bounds.
Yep.
I've not only seen it happen to me, I've seen it happen to many human beings.
Oh yeah.
And so when it happened to me at the end of my rage-tastic round, I wasn't thinking like, that tree fucked me or this or that. I was just thinking like it just happened right now. Mm-hmm. And to me, it almost made sense. I was like, cool. And I was also like, if it's going to happen, I'm glad that I literally, even though I was like ready to just rage thumber into the group of trees, I was still thinking like, at least it happened on this round because it didn't happen on like a 10 down and then took it away from me.
Yeah.
It happened on a 1 down to put me at even.
Right.
But I know that stuff's going to happen. And it's the same, like then the next time you play the round, you try to adjust that shot, or the next time you throw that disc, you adjust the shot for like what's going to happen. Oh, okay, this thing actually kicks up a little bit more than I think when there's a slight headwind. I thought that wasn't enough wind to impact the flight, but it did. So now I know that and move forward with it.
Yeah.
But I look at like what I'm talking about in terms of when you first start playing and you're 40 feet out and you just pitch your putter to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You just pitch it at the pole. So you can have the drop in, right? And then as you play longer, you kind of learn like, well, I'm comfortable with a 15-foot comeback. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give this a bid because it's probably not going to go more than 15 feet past. Mm-hmm. And then you learn that like, I'm never going to make a shot 50 feet out if every shot I throw is under the basket from 50 feet out. Mm-hmm. I need to give it enough height and give it enough energy and then deal with the comeback wherever it ends up. But I'm at least going to give myself the chance from 50 feet out because I'm going to make some of these. Mm-hmm. And as I get better, I'll make more of them. But the reality is I'm never going to make them if I just pitch them all to the bottom of the pin.
Right.
So I look at off the tee pad, same thing. I have to throw the shot that gives me a chance to get to where I'm hoping to get to. Mm-hmm. Instead of right now, I'm doing the equivalent of like pitching it to the bottom of the pin.
Yeah.
And then not practicing pitching it to the bottom of the pin. I'm just making that decision during the round. And then I'm actually like trying to do a roll, like whatever, like I'm doing a shot that I don't really practice and then not even giving myself a chance for like a great outcome. And instead I'm just throwing like a shitty outcome. So I just need to like be on the pad, be like, I'm going to run this, but I'm going to throw the shot that's going to get me where I want to be. And if I don't get there, odds are the consequences aren't going to be that much worse than if I half-assed the shot that was going to be safe, because that also put me in fucktown. Mm-hmm. So why not pay the consequences for something that there was a real reward to, as opposed to paying the consequences for something that had a minimal reward anyways.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. There's a lot to it.
Yeah. And that's that's always the thing that impresses me when I watch coverage is like how much those guys commit to those shots. Mm-hmm. Tight-wooded, tiny line, full rip.
Yeah.
Right? Like Conrad.
Yeah, and that was more so where I'm coming from of like, this is what I need. Like, if I want to be here, like, this is what needs to be executed. Like, so I played with Yuli my second round.
Yeah.
It was me, Phil, Yuli, and I'm sorry, fourth guy, I don't remember your name, but it was
Larry.
I was about to ask, actually.
Got him.
I forgot that Larry is just the go-to. He's John Doe.
He's everywhere.
Yeah. That round was obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like, not in a bad way at all. It was a lot of fun. It legitimately was a good time. Yuli, I've had huge respects for Yuli. I know you do too. But the way he carries himself around just on the course, he doesn't, like, big league, he's not better than you. He's just another person. And we were on the castle hole, and I forget who asked him what question it was, but he was just like, dude, like, I can deal with this, and this, like my ability to manage slow play and whatever, like, I'm pretty good at it. Like, I can deal with it. It doesn't really bother me. I can work through it. I've been playing X amount of years. But when people are asking me like 20, 30 questions a fucking hole, it's like, dude, like, we're the same. We're both competing. Shut the fuck up. Like, honestly, he didn't say that, but basically is like, dude, I'll answer questions later.
Right.
It's like you're in a round and you're the guy who's like signing up to play pro just to try to play with somebody else and then get their autograph because you've like pigeonholed them into it. So you've paid $250 just to get a fucking autograph, and you didn't even like pay him $250.
Right.
Like,
hey, dude, before you tee off real quick, can you?
Yeah.
just to my cousin.
Like, I thought about that before, and I was just like, dude, like, what? Yeah. Like, okay, like, I don't know, but the laughs that we had the whole time was just amazing. He on 11, he went up to Phil. He's like, dude, don't take this the wrong way, but you're like the worst disc golfer that I've ever seen. Because Phil was literally all over the place. Like, he'd have holes where it's just like, what the shit? And then other holes, like, bad what the shit. And then the other one's like a good what the shit.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? And he's like, yeah, this and that, whatever. And a lot of it, obviously, his foot is bothering him. I don't know. Did he show you his foot?
No, I don't. I'm not into it.
He's got
I know.
big
I know.
old.
I'm not into it. I'm not into it.
Big old knuckle.
Yeah. Men's feet should stay covered and not be a part of my life. He posted that picture on Facebook. I almost threw up.
Really?
Yeah, he posted a picture of a thing, and I was just like, dude, I don't need to see it.
Darren doesn't like men feet.
No, lady feet.
Yeah.
I'm in.
But if they're good lady feet,
if they're
like
good,
one of your things.
Yeah, if they're good lady feet, I'm really in.
Man,
but
imagine if Gabby had troll feet.
She wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
good
sad
job, Gabby.
It's a sad reality. But yeah, man feet, I'm not in. That's why I literally have off camera here. I have like a rack of shoes.
Yeah.
Like a rack and a half of shoes, and I have a pair of slides that I use for tournaments with socks.
Yeah.
And I have a pair of Birkenstocks and flip-flops because Gabby made me get them. Other than that, I would own no shoes where you could see my toes. Ever. It's just not a thing. I think it's like a polite thing. Like, no one needs to see my man toes.
You don't like your toes?
They're fine.
Okay.
But it's just not like, I don't know.
I'm going to start wearing flip-flops.
No one needs to get into it. Men don't need to wear thongs, right? There's plenty of things that, like, just, it is what it is. Right?
Some of my favorite flip-flops are the rainbows. Like, it's a family tradition. Those are like thong flip-flops, and I love them.
No, I'm talking about thong underwear.
Oh, whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to see you in a thong, right?
Yeah, that's different.
I just think it's...
You don't even wear thongs on your feet.
I have one pair. I have a similar feel, though. Like
underwear thongs on your feet you wear?
Yeah.
Why do you wear underwear thongs on your feet?
Because no one tells me what to do. I just wear them for myself. No, but I mean, like, I'm just not into it. And if your foot's like all fucked up, I just don't need to see it.
Okay.
I just got no interest.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's one of those things. People get grossed out by different shit.
Yeah.
So shit, piss, puke, all that, no problem. Snot grosses me the fuck out. I
Really?
can't deal with that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
so
then
people do like snot rockets in front of you to like
it's
clear
just
their
not-
face.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
That's
It
hilarious.
gets
Scott
me.
does that all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not into it. I was in high school, and the hockey players at my high school were like just dirt asses. I loved them for it, but they're dirt asses. I can't remember the guy's name, but all these guys like, I'll get like fucking queasy thinking about it. Yeah. Anyways, there was some phlegm collected. They put it on this candy bar, and this guy ate it. And literally to this day, like, dude, even when I think about it, it almost makes you throw up.
God.
Like,
yeah.
No, I can't. I just can't.
That's extreme.
Yeah, it's a weird.
I wouldn't do that.
So everybody has their own thing.
Yeah,
Now we're learning about me on the podcast
Holy
and my
shite.
disdain for men's feet and phlegm. Whatever is what it is.
Yeah. So Phil's foot was obviously bothering him though.
Yep.
But like we get all the way through the round, and like at the end, even still, it was just like legitimately a pleasure playing with like all of you.
Yeah.
And this and that. It was a great time.
Yeah.
For sure. And then just seeing how he was playing the course and how well he was able to shoot the second round and then keep it together. Because, like, he didn't shoot hot fire, but it wasn't bad. Maybe bad by his standards or whatever.
Yeah.
But even still, it was like he held his head up. He was able to joke around with this and that and whatever. Was able to roll with, like, oh, I got lucky there or whatever. I don't know. It was just nice.
He makes me want to throw nukes.
Yeah.
Watching how he plays, watching the smooth thing. And I've realized, like, because I never really paid attention to discs before what other people throw because I was just through shit that nobody knew about.
Yeah.
So I was never like, oh, I should.
I think he has 3 first-run buzzes in his bag.
Does he?
I think he has at least 2. It might be 3 in there. Just hilarious.
He's a baller.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, people are going to sell it to him for less than what they could get it for. And I think he's not the guy that it's like, I play better just because they're first-run buzzes.
Right.
I think it's just, I like them and whatever.
Probably the ability of him to lose them is probably pretty slim too.
Yeah.
Because he's probably, even when their holes are tough, most of the time he's probably got spotters.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he's not playing Hudson champ, like long to champs on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Where there's no one out there and you're like, where'd this go? I'm bleeding. But yeah. Yeah, no, I want to try out the nuke. Because like as I watch more and more coverage and I watch more and more Discraft guys, I just don't see a lot of cranks getting thrown.
Yeah.
Like I'll see some cranks from time to time, but mostly everybody throws nukes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, maybe I should try it out. Especially now moving from more hyzer flip to like liking something that I can throw more on a flex line.
Yeah. And chances are the top guys, whatever they're throwing, it's a good disc.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to think. Like, I mean, that the top guys, like when Paul's on Innova and then every other Innova player basically just has the same bag. And then you have like the weird outliers of like someone who throws a Sonic or this and that. But realistically, the rest of their bag is 90% the same.
No one's throwing crates.
Yeah.
Right. No one's throwing. Yeah. Like I understand that. Yeah, I was thinking this week. So I have a couple weeks before I'm going to do anything competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, especially after playing with Phil and this and that, my forms changed and all that. I know we just did it in the carts, but I was thinking of doing what I normally do mid-season, just taking all my stuff out, throwing it just without any preconceived notions, just like all of them are brand new discs, and go out and throw them and then put a set back together. Because especially bringing the flex line into play, there's so much more I can do with specific discs. Like we talked about this last time, like some discs are so much more workable that then I don't need other discs.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, like, well, maybe I'll revisit some discs that I already made up my mind, like, oh, I don't like those, because now I can try them on like a little bit of a flex and see how they fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like yesterday, fucking around, I went out and did the 7-11 practice, which I told you. 7 fierces and 11 zones, just to work on like up shots.
Yeah.
Because like I don't have a good touch up shot forehand. So I was taking the zones and stuff like this. And when I got all done, I did like, I don't know, five or six sets with that. It was like waiting for food to get here. So I didn't have a bunch of time, but I did drag the basket to the park and do it.
Yeah.
But when I was all done, and I was just like, I'd thrown my up shots with the fierces, and I was like, well, I'm going to throw the zones. I just wanted to throw like huge annies with the zones on the stability to like throw the flex and have it come right in at the basket that way. Because I'm still proving to my brain how that works.
Yeah.
Like, because my brain refused to admit or buy onto the idea that like I can throw something stable on an Annie, and it's much more repeatable than throwing something understable on a flip.
Yeah.
So I took those, and yeah, I was just kind of like amazed. Like I'm an idiot about things. I was like, oh, wow, that's sweet. So I threw up like a zone, and as long as I commit to it and really like get enough snap on it and get the angle right, like even my super stable, like, well, none of them are like super stable, but even my really stable zones, like I put way the fuck out to the left, and then it just carried like all the way back over. And I was like, okay, that's a thing.
Yeah.
So then a bunch of the discs that I have in my setup that I throw, like, so I can put a little bit of Annie and then have them fall over, like I can do that with a flex shot with something that's more stable. So some of my discs I don't really need in my bag anymore. So I was thinking of like, well, then I'll try some other stuff, because what if I took something before that I didn't like because it was a little bit more stable than I wanted, but now I try to work it on like a little bit of a flex, like is that going to actually do what I need it to do, and just do it differently than how I had thought about it before.
Yeah.
So I think like, one, it'll be fun just to throw them all, and two, I can use it to like work on my timing, work on my form and all that, but also just kind of gain some data on like different angles, different flight characteristics, and then put together like a new setup. But I definitely think I'm going to go and get like 3 or 4 nukes just to fuck around with them, because I have that torrent and I like that. And I imagine that that's probably pretty close to like a little bit less stable nuke, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, nukes are sweet.
Yeah, just try it out.
Part.
Yeah, just try it out.
Yeah.
Because if I got one, I use the 5 scratchy 3-time triple threat champion force, which
when did they release that?
Well, it's a very, very very limited edition.
Oh, okay.
But I was fucking around with that, and that one's cool because it's so stable. And then that one surge I like fucking around with on the flex because it's super stable, and they're just cool shots to have. It's nice to be able to like put it out a little bit to the right and know that it's still gonna like just dive over and get around some shit. So yeah,
that's good.
Take the setup out, throw it, see what we do.
Yeah.
So
send some shit.
Yeah. So so we were talking about putting together a challenge.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try to like figure out how we're going to do it. We can also take comments, anybody that watches that wants to contribute to this.
I bet Rob's got something too.
I guarantee Rob has a whole spreadsheet put up of how we should do this.
Yeah.
So we're going to use the bins. We'll somehow number the bins.
We can get like index cards or like sticky notes or something.
Well, what I was thinking is we just do it in sets, right? Because there's basically 3 sets of 6 bins. So like that's one set of 6 bins. Then this is another set of 6 bins. And then up top, we could easily like, or throughout the whole setup, take 2 bins of discs out of the mix.
Okay.
So that way we would just do it in like 3 stages. So 1 dice would be which bin, and then you'd roll, and we have to figure out some system of how you roll back into the bin.
We can get like a 20-sided die.
I think maybe like it's just 2 rolls. Like So I don't know how many discs each bin holds, but then break that up into 6.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like each thing we could do it with 36 discs. So like each bin will be broken up by 6 discs.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you roll one dice and see like which of those.
Wait, we have 6, 8. So I think we could legit get a 20-sided die, and then we roll. So like we're going for say 3 bins in total, say. So we roll the die once, and we get that bin, put it off to the side. Roll it again, get another bin, and then we have 3 bins. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm going to follow you through on this. Okay.
So then you go from there. So now the discs are made just from these 3 bins.
Okay.
Whatever. And then you roll for whatever disc in that bin, maybe. Maybe it's like a random like this, or we roll for, I don't know, like, so we have putter, mid-range, driver, if you want that to be like a guarantee. Or it's just like entirely lucky, which I think would be even better. So it's like you get all destroyers or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Or you could do it like, all right, we're rolling for, like, if the top one was all putters, we roll for which one of those we get for like our putter bin, and then same with mids and drivers, and then go from maybe there. Or we just send it like all of it's open.
So
I don't know.
what I'm thinking is, I won't make you reach for the bin like I had you before because it's right here with me. No.
No, I'm gonna mimic you.
All right. So here I've got a bin.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 discs.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 discs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 discs. So that's 3 sets of 6. 3, 6, 4.
Okay.
3, 6, 5. Totally do it. 36 drivers in each bin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So then when you get to putters, maybe like the second dice you roll.
So we just rolled for this bin. Now we're rolling a die within this bin.
Right.
Is what you're
to
saying.
index you this way.
Yes.
And then that number correlates to these 6 discs. Then you roll a die again, and it tells you which of those 6 discs.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot.
So we'll just set up like one set of 6 discs will all be mid-range, putters and mid-ranges.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next 6 discs will be fairway drivers to control drivers. And then the next 6 bins will all be like high-speed drivers.
Okay.
And then you'll get like so many from each thing. And
I
then
feel like it'd
go
be more
from there.
fun if it was just like not guaranteed. Like, I'm guaranteed to get a putter. I'm guaranteed to get a mid.
So then out of each 6, we could do 2 putters, 2 mids, and 2 drivers.
Yeah.
And just mix it up so each set of 6 you're
Rob,
getting.
can you make it just so we don't have to do all this extra stuff? I feel like you'd have a really good idea.
Because I think that way there, right, then we could even mix up the bins a little bit. Just make sure each bin has 36 discs in it.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah. I'd like it to be like just completely random. Like if you get stuck with only high speed drivers,
Yeah.
get wrecked.
Yeah. And the other thing I was thinking of is so we can use the Revolution Deluxe mini bags. I'll put those discs on the side with some quad shocks. We'll get all geared up.
Yeah.
And then you have to throw each disc before you can throw another disc a second time.
So you have to go through the cycle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to pick or no.
I don't know.
Because otherwise,
so yeah, like you could.
Because otherwise, you could get 2 discs that you're comfortable with.
So I think what if we had how many discs are we building? Like say it was 6, we get 6 discs total for our bag,
right?
And then each one is just like you roll a die and you see like what you get. So it doesn't matter like how you could put it back in the same order or whatever, because still you're just gonna roll a die for what you're gonna throw.
Yeah.
Like for every tee pad, and then you can play the rest of the hole how you want, or like for every shot you have to throw what you roll or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we each get 12 discs.
Okay.
And then they're just like 2 disc spots. So you keep your bag in some kind of like order of like driver, mid-range, whatever it is. And then you just roll 1 dice. And it's either the first 2 discs, the second 2 discs, the third 2 discs, and you have to use those 2 discs on that hole.
Okay.
And then after 2 shots, you can pick whatever the fuck you want.
Gotcha. So I roll a 1 and I get a putter and mid. I can only use putter and mid the whole time.
For the first 2 shots. After that, you can use whatever disc you want.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we each get 12 discs.
Yeah.
And then you have to use 2 discs per hole.
Yeah.
And after that, you can use whatever you want.
Yeah. So if we go to firefighters, roll a 1, I get a fierce and a wasp. I can throw
Wasp off the drive.
and then the next one has to be fierce.
Yep.
And then, if I going
blow
beyond that, I can do whatever I want.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I like it.
I like it too. I think it'd be good.
That'll be sweet.
I think it'd be sweet to randomize the bins too.
Yeah.
See what the fuck you come up with.
When are we gonna do this?
I think we could do it before the next podcast.
I think so.
So I think maybe, something else is coming up. Something for us to do. I totally forgot.
Oh yeah.
Yes, so we will do that challenge.
Okay.
We're not going to do it today. We're not going to do it Wednesday.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do it on Friday or something.
Okay.
Okay. So a guy that I do real estate with has a course. He's got a bunch of land, and he put a course in. Cass Phillips. He put a course in, and then he's working on a second course. He's got all this other stuff. So I volunteered us to go out and play through it, because he's trying to get it set up so that he can have a league there next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk to the guys about maybe doing the small city league out there.
Okay.
It'd be dope as fuck to have the league at a private course. And the course, from what he showed me, looks awesome.
Yeah.
The issue that
how close is he to here?
40 minutes.
Okay.
He's more by Northridge.
Gotcha.
By Kensington. He's more that direction.
Sweet.
I think he lives in Northville maybe.
Okay.
But it's right over there. So the issue that he has right now is he has a layout for 36 holes. He doesn't have the second course in. He has it kind of laid out of how he wants to do it. But the one course that he does have in, instead of it being 9 holes with 18 tee pads, it's 11 baskets.
Okay.
So some of the holes have 2 tee pads, some of them don't.
Gotcha.
So I was telling him, in order to have a league out there, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're going to have 2 people throwing at the same basket, and it'll, like, you're just pace of play.
It'll get weird. Like if you can make it like a full on 18 or whatever.
So if we can figure out, like, we'll go out there, look at it, and then give some honest feedback in terms of like how to put together an 18.
That'd be sweet.
So like we just need to find 18 good holes, set those up, and then worry about
I wonder if we could showcase his course too by doing the challenge there.
Well, we're not going to do our challenge because I want to throw the discs that I want to throw.
No,
like I don't want.
That's the part of the challenge.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to go out because I don't want to waste his time, and I don't want to like not be able to give like really good.
Oh, I'm not
feedback.
saying like for that.
Oh, you mean
I'm saying like later on, or something.
Oh,
yeah,
wherever you want it, buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
But on Wednesday, I want to go
Civic
out.
Center.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
But I want to go out and like really give it a play and see like how fair it is, where you can get to, what we can actually do out there. And then give them some honest feedback about how to get an 18 in, because I think I'll have to talk to Rob and Will about our league, but I think that I know it's a little bit weird out of the way. But it might be cool because then I also feel like we're not stepping on any leagues that are here.
Yeah.
So it'd be like little bit of a different area, and it'd be sweet to have it at a private course and have it be like super legit, and then do.
And he could legit make money doing it, like if it was a pay to play or whatever. Like if it's made well enough. I think Fred and I have talked about it. Jared and I have talked about it. Like if being able to get a plot of land and investing time and energy into making something just bad at, because even still like playing Maple Hill, it's like there's still so many other things I could see just being better. Yeah, that takes like little time, and it's just like course maintenance of like tree puby type stuff or whatever for me is like a super bonus. But like going and playing and paying $5, and I don't know, like you think Stoney gets 100 people a day, right?
Easily.
Like, that's $500 a day. Like that's a good chunk of money. So if you take time to invest, make something sweet, maintain it, and it's just $5 to play, and you're being honest about it, and he can like regulate it and so like cameras, whatever, so people don't not do that.
Trail cam. I
think it'd be just sweet. Because then here's like another way where you can just like disc golf is your job to some degree or whatever. But yeah, that'd be really cool.
I volunteered you.
Perfect.
So you have to come. I figured that you wouldn't be weird about it. So yeah,
when is that happening?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday. So
What time?
we'll go out. I don't know. I kind of told, like, we work out in the morning.
Yeah.
So I kind of told him like afternoonish.
Okay.
And then we'll probably play like a couple of rounds. Maybe he'll play with us. Maybe he won't. I don't know what he's got going on.
Okay.
And then we'll just give him some honest feedback, walk some stuff off. We'll take the Bushnells, measure some stuff off, whatever, and then see kind of like what we could do to lay out like an 18-hole deal.
Okay.
And then tweak some stuff if it's janky or whatever.
Sick.
So I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, figure out what's going on, and maybe we'll do the league there, or he'll do a league there or whatever, and do that. So that's one thing that we have to do on Wednesday.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So then I figure we do that on Wednesday, and then Friday we can do another podcast.
Yeah. Since we missed last week.
Yeah. And it's what the people want.
Yeah, we're gonna give you guys more this week.
You got to give them what they want.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I think that'll be sweet. That'll be super cool. And then maybe on Friday after that podcast, then we could do the bin challenge. That'll give me some time during the week to set the bins up for the challenge, because like there's a few things. Like I'm going to take the Fierces out because I don't want those. Like they only have so much stability in them. I don't want to. Nothing against you. I love you, but I don't want to. At $20 a piece for a like pretty basic level plastic putter, I don't want to use up to $20 like ripping them into trees. So I'll take those out. But
I feel like you're being sly with this challenge, making up extra rules and.
No, I just don't want my expensive putters in the mix. Other than that, we can literally keep everything in the mix. And I hope you get a fucking XD. That's what I hope.
I hope I get an XD.
I hope you get an XD. I'm trying to think. I hope you get an Inspire. There's a handful in there that I hope you get.
Oh my God, dude, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yuli was throwing one of those midnight Page Pierce Fierces.
Yeah.
Just because he's like, I don't know, I sold a bunch of them, so this one's basically free. And
yeah.
It's just like, but it's black. Where are you gonna throw it?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like upshot, it was one of those, I think, just weird flexes that he had just because.
Yeah.
Like I can just throw it because it's paid for itself already.
Yeah. Yeah. How does that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That'll be sweet. I'm excited for all of that.
Yeah, both challenges I think will be good.
Yes.
And then I want to start. Playing some forehand rounds because I feel like my legs are solid, especially with working out, and I feel like my form's decent together. So I want to just start like putting some forehand rounds together because I had to lean on the forehand a couple of times at the tournament, but I'm still at a point where I'm apprehensive off the tee pad.
Yeah.
Especially if I didn't spend time warming up throwing forehands. Like I was talking with Phil about it last night, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like after I do field work and everything, after a little bit, then I'm like, fuck yeah, I can do this, and I can start to see the line, and I can start to do this. But in the tournament, when I'm on my like 38th shot, and it's like, oh, let's rip out a forehand. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, here's a luck shot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Could be good. Could be anywhere in between.
Yeah, that's funny. I did one like touch forehand shot yesterday that went in with like the shitty ESP, the white zone that I have.
Yeah.
So I was playing out like wide to have it come in on a forehand just to play around with the stability and see it. And the first one that I tried it with was the ESP. It just went out like way wide, and it just held. I went like right in, like 150 out.
Nice.
And I was like, sweet.
All right.
Still never fucking bagging that disc.
Yeah. Not even for like I get this.
I don't even care if I hit that shot every time with that disc. I just wouldn't bag it. Because every time I put any kind of like serious oomph into it at all, it just like it's not a zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not.
It's one of those elusive domey ones.
It's got a little bit of dome to it, and it just it'll go right over on you. So
yeah, but I wanted to ask. So I had like a couple other like random things, but
I'm in
talking about like
random.
with working out and how you've been feeling after working out, because we're in a few weeks now.
Yep.
You've got a couple more sessions in than I do, but like me, since working out, I felt amazing. I think everyone would kind of had the same thing, like, oh, I feel healthier, better, more this, that, whatever. But like legitimately, like weird, like things that would bother me don't really bother me, or things that like never bothered me don't bother me now. It's just like a sore. Like I'm using these muscles that I've never used before, or haven't used in a while, whatever type deal. But like overall, it's just like down to just like eating food. It feels like I'm actually like doing it because my body I need this so we can exactly fueling, what it's for.
Yeah, fueling, not collecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like overall, I just feel so much better, and it was like a weird lull not working out
Yeah.
during that time.
It's
Because like
uncomfortable.
one of them, it was like I got up like extra early, and I think it was just because like my body's like, hey, we're working out today, and it's like, no, like we're in the middle of the fucking woods. Like I
Yeah.
could do X, Y, and Z, but I don't know what or anything. And you're the guy who has the knowledge of this. I'm just kind of following your instructions. So
Yeah.
I don't want to do something that I shouldn't be doing, or I don't know what. But like even still going out, playing that round, going to bed, getting actual sleep and stuff, it's like it's like subtly changing stuff, and we're still like in the warm up phase.
Yeah.
Like building up to the good stuff that you're all excited about.
Yeah.
Joint mobility and
So
things.
for me, yeah, I sleep better. Definitely, not that I ever have a hard time sleeping, but I sleep better.
Mhm.
You know, just working out and stuff, your body's tired, and your body wants to repair. Your body does repairs at night, so like it's looking forward to the sleep, and you sleep.
Yeah.
But for me, it's more of I just really, even playing when I played with Phil, I just think of like how far my body's come from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I can run, you know what I mean? It's like I can jump up onto stuff, like I can do athletic movements, and my body's fine. But even like playing a whole day of disc golf and getting home and just being like a little muscle sore, going to sleep and wake up in the morning, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like no problems. Like my calves are sore because I actually use my legs when I throw now. That's
Yeah.
like been the one thing that's really been weird, and it has nothing to do with us working out.
Yeah.
It's more of like now when I throw, I actually use my legs, and like the only really like pretty painful stuff that I wake up with is my calves cramp up in the morning
Yeah.
after I play a shitload, and it's because I just never really used them before.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm like Neo after he
Yeah.
gets up out of the thing, and he's like, we've never seen before, you know. But like I'll get up to pee in the middle of the night, and I'll just feel him start to cramp up, and I'm like, no.
Dude, I hate that. Like as soon as I feel my calf cramping up, like I just flex my foot and I just hold it there and just like this isn't happening, because as soon as like
Yeah, you get snipered down on the ground.
Yeah.
I'll stand on my toes and then lean to the wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, to try to like get a good compensation. But
Yeah.
I was really excited. And I actually did a bunch of research yesterday, and I have something that I'll talk about off air,
Okay.
so we don't give it all away. But no, so we've been working on like corrective mobility, corrective strength, right? Like strengthening muscles that you never use,
Mm-hmm.
working on mobility that's limited, and kind of getting us into a place we have.
For some, allegedly, apparently I have really good mobility or something.
You have great dorsal flexion of your ankles.
Nice.
It's amazing. And your hips have good mobility. Other than that, I don't know. There's some stuff we haven't tested yet. But no, but I feel like we're in a good spot to like then do something. You know what I mean? Like start to like actually work on strength and everything, as opposed to just like getting it set up.
Right.
I'm a huge believer in like going slow so you don't get an injury.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing with disc golf. If you just like threw a whole bunch at the beginning of the season, you know, to get like as good as you could, as fast as you could, but then you missed like 6 weeks in the middle of the season because you can't throw because your shoulder's fucked up, and then you come back, like, is that season more productive than a season where like you just took it slower earlier but got to play the whole season?
Right.
And that's always how I look at working out, of like, I'm not in a race to get there, but I know definitely the more weeks in a row that I can put in all of my workouts, the faster I'm going to get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
So even if like early on I'm like, let's get fucking jacked,
Yeah.
but then I miss 8 weeks, like it's definitely not going to be faster than if I just take it slower at the beginning and just
Feels more like
never miss
why
8
did I even
weeks.
start working out? Like I'm
Right.
wasting all this time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that happens when I talk with people that work out, and I explain to them like different things, or when I work out with people and they're like, oh, I just do this. And I'm like, cool. How's your back?
Yeah. Yeah.
How's your shoulders?
You very passive aggressively ask
Yeah.
them questions that they don't even know they're really answering.
Yeah. And they're like, oh no, you do it like this. And I'm like, oh, you ever had a back problem? Yeah. My back's all fucked up. Crazy.
Oh, wow.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
So weird how that works out. But no, I've really enjoyed it. My body has been, you know, like even when we said, like when we ran at Indy out to the hole, I was like, wow, I couldn't have done this before.
Yeah.
Not just because of cardio, but my body, like I couldn't run. But then even this week, I like did some running, like just randomly. And when I was playing the tournament and stuff, and you know, Phil and I are like running around and doing all this stuff and trying to hurry up and get all these holes in and do whatever. Like, I'm just super excited by it, like the way that my body responds and how it feels and how limited the amount of like pain I'm in. It's weird because being up north, I had to sleep on a bed that's not mine. So if we revisit an hour and a half ago, important things to me, shoes and mattress.
Yeah.
The mattress first day felt really comfortable, but what it is I was fooled by like some super top quality sheets.
Oh, nice.
The sheets were really soft and smooth, and I was like, oh, this is nice. But by the second night, I was like, oh, this mattress doesn't really have the support that my body requires. And I'm not like a heavy dude, but like my body's a little, sensitive. It's old. And by like the third and fourth night, like it had started to wear me out to the point that like when I got up on Friday to drive home, like I felt like I had like a rib out of place. Like the two and a half hour drive home, like I was like very uncomfortable by the time I got home. So I came home, I rolled out on the roller, my back, I got a couple good cracks, hung upside down a little bit, rolled back out on the roller, and I got it in decent shape. Went and played 2 rounds at Willow, came home, and then I laid on that like electric thing that I have that actually like rolls out my back. And then I woke up Sunday.
I don't think I've seen that yet.
It's a secret.
Okay.
And then when I woke up on Sunday, I got out there and I was like pretty good. Like it was a little tight to start and then it loosened up. But when I got there on Saturday, I was super pumped. I was like, Phil, nothing gay, but can you just like give me the hug to like crack my back? And he did it. It was like the whole thing because I had already rolled out and stretched it and I got like a couple of cracks, but it was like all set up to go.
Yeah.
So when I got there and he just like gave me the crush, like the whole thing cracked. And I was like, cool.
Nice.
But sleeping in my own bed every day and controlling like what I do with my body, like definitely has my body feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
So
sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited to do that, do some stuff.
Me too.
Yeah, I got a good proposition on a 12-week program that is different than the program I did before, but I think it's going to work for us. And I think it'll be cool. Like I've been trying to do research because we're almost at the point, like because we took the time off this week, we'll have to do basically a recap of the stuff that we've done, but then we should be in good shape to like move from there. So by the time we're in the like beginning of October, we should be able to like go. So if we do like 12 weeks, if we do like October to November to December to January, figure we miss a couple weeks, we'll end in February and then start to taper off a little bit, or then just move to like specific shit that we feel is out of balance going into the season. Because I'd like to lift pretty good until March when the season starts, and then get in like kind of back into like more of where we're at now, as opposed to like blowing our bodies out. Yeah. And then being like, oh, tournament in 2 days. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause for sure at Maple Hill, there was a couple times where it's like, I'm not getting anything into this. And it's like, my legs are tired. And it's like, wow, these hills. And then it's like, no, dude, we just did legs on Monday or whatever. Yeah. So like my firing from my left moving to my right was like half.
Yeah. And we did some weight and stuff too. Yeah. So I wasn't just screwing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I definitely appreciate doing it. I definitely appreciate doing it with you because it adds some accountability to me. Yeah. And gets me into it, gets me doing it. Yeah. So
I think it keeps us honest.
Yeah.
Helps us both with that. For sure for me. Like I look forward to it. There's some sort of schedule because like a lot of my life is designed around chaos. Like whether that's how it was meant to be or not, that's just how it is. Yeah. So like having this and this system and whatever, and like actually mimicking what you do to like create said systems is like legitimately like what I like. I mean, water bottles or whatever, like tackle boxes with a bunch of vitamins and whatever. It just creates
some structure.
Yeah, exactly. So I really, that's the actual just reason why I do it and I enjoy it. So yeah, this is awesome. I like it a lot.
All right.
So thanks.
So I wanted to talk to you about something in the process of progress, separate from disc golf and more on the lines of traditional golf.
Okay.
So yesterday was the U.S. Open final round. So I watched the U.S. Open final round, and Bryson DeChambeau won.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a fucking machine. It's ridiculous. He had ball speed on one of the drives was like 197 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
Yeah. His club head speed like gets, like I told you before, I saw the video where it was like 144.
Yeah.
But that's like in a simulator. You're not playing for the fucking U.S. Open.
Right.
Playing for the U.S. Open, he had club head speed of like 137, 138. Jesus. So it's ridiculous. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. But I guess I've watched him play, but not really so much with the audio on. Like a lot of time I watch golf because then Gabby's watching something else in the other room. Like I just suck it up and I just don't have the commentators. I still think it's weird that they talk quietly while the guy's golfing because they're nowhere near that fucking guy. They're in a studio somewhere. Like who the fuck cares? But So I got to listen, and what you were talking about like talking yourself about your putt and talking about like your shot, like this is what I'm gonna do, whatever. That dude never shuts the fuck up.
Really?
The entire time he is just rambling numbers, angles, percentages, distances with his caddy.
Really?
Non-stop.
Wow.
So the idea of like, don't think about too many variables, just keep it simple. You know what I mean? Like, don't overthink your shots and all that stuff. He's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Like, before he shoots, they literally go through all this stuff, and it's so much, it's like nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, he just starts shooting off numbers and like, all right, so I'm going to hit this, blah, 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 this and that, 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock and blah. And yeah, and you're just like, what? Even the commentator's like, I don't even know what the fuck he just said, but it sounds like really crazy.
Yeah.
And that's how he plays. And so like what we were talking about, like release angle, we're on the 2-dimensional plane, what amount of power are you putting into it? You know what I mean? Like all that stuff before you release your drive. And then the same thing, like committing to that shot then and doing it. That's what he does.
Yeah.
But it's so much different than the rest of golf, because the rest of golf is like, you know, they just kind of keep it simple and, you know, you try not to overthink this stuff. But he's playing like every variable, and he's just verbally saying it before he does it to commit the accountability to what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he'll tell his caddy like this, boom, they go through all these fucking numbers, which I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, and I'm going to do this. Okay. And then he hits it and he's like, all right, well, this was this and this was that or whatever it was. And he goes about it very much like an engineer, like in the way that he does it. But he does the same thing in the way that he practices and does stuff. So he's the guy I told you about. They have him on like foot sensors.
Yeah.
And then he also has like, you know, all these cameras and like everything, like watching all the shit that he does. And he's like, you know, the Russian guy in Rocky, you know what I mean? Where like they have him on the push-pull machine. And he,
Yeah.
But when I was listening to him, so he also has all of the shafts of his clubs are the same length.
Okay.
So normally the higher number on the iron, the shorter the shaft.
Okay.
And then it changes in your stance of where you're actually hitting the ball.
Okay.
So he just has the same shaft on his clubs. So he's like the only fucking guy that has the same shafts on his club. I guess like Ben Hogan or something, like way back in the day, had the same shafts on his club. So he figured out that like if I have the same length shaft, it's the same swing. I'm not now changing my kind of relationship to the ball and changing all this other shit. So like, you know, so he kind of looked at golf and just like literally committed to like his own system. Like he not only plays his own game, but he's like, what's going to be the most repeatable, most like precise thing that I can do to do this? So he figured out some like mental part of how he intellectually breaks down the shot, and then also set up his equipment in a way that's like, this is going to give me the best chance to do what I need to do. And then I'm just going to become this like beefcake and just mash the living shit out of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So they had like a dog leg left, and the far end of the fairway when it dog legs over is like 320. So normally he would hit like a 3-wood, because he hits his 3-wood like 300 in the air, which is just dumb.
Yeah.
So he had his driver, and I'm like, well, what the fuck is he?
Did he cut the corner?
But the trees that he had to go over were like so high. So he hits the ball super high. He not only like, that's kind of the crazy part is like, yeah, he'll drive the ball, you know what I mean? Like 360 yards, let's say, or 350 yards. But his apex point of his drive is like here, and like second highest drive is like right here.
Yeah.
So other people are getting there, but it's because of the roll. When their ball hits, like it's a lower trajectory and then hits and rolls. His is getting there like on this super high trajectory, and then it kind of hits and bounces and doesn't really roll a whole bunch. His is just carrying like way fucking farther than yours.
Yeah.
But it allows him to do these like crazy shots.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure as shit, he like lines up his driver and like cuts it over the trees on the corner, which is like impossibly high to get up with your driver. Totally does it. Totally gets it over. Totally cuts the corner. Drive length 365.
Wow.
You're just like, what the fuck? Like he had already won the tournament at that point. He's just like, hold my beer.
I think I heard this or saw it on social media or something, where it's just like, yeah, and then if you're Bryson, you just fucking cut corners and.
Yeah, he did it. He did it earlier in the year and hit a drive over 400 yards up to the right on a hole that was like a dog leg right, and he just like cut it up over the corner. It landed on the backside of the sand trap and rolled forward, and it was like 400 something yard shot.
Hilarious.
But it's a little bit easier to get it up in the air going to the right.
Right. That makes sense.
Because you're opening it up and you're kind of coming outside in, coming underneath it, and you can pop it up over to the right. Putting it up in the air and doing like a draw is like very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And so like just putting it up is like, it's the equivalent of like when Simon became Simon.
Yeah.
But in ball golf after Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Like you already had Tiger Woods do what he does.
Yeah.
And you're still in a world where you're like, holy fuck, did you see what that guy did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It is insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was just like, I really liked the idea of like that he just decided like, this is how I want my equipment. I'm going to use like every advantage that I can to try to become the best like swing machine that I could become. And then like intellectually, I'm going to use every variable to make my decisions, verbally commit myself to it, take a pause of silence, and then do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really liked that. And
Yeah.
I was like, I need to incorporate that, you know, more on a shot by shot basis. Like he's definitely not out there just hitting shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like my big fear is like, I just get done with a round and I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
I forgot to do all the stuff that I was trying to do. And I ended
Yeah.
up just throwing a round somewhere.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely like every shot in between the shots, everything is like, what am I doing next? What exactly am I looking at? What exactly am I trying to execute? How am I going to do it? And then doing it.
Yeah.
And then right after that shot, be like, all right, next is, you know.
Yep. And I really liked it. Like where I do implement it, I mean, it works out great
Yeah.
because a lot of times it's just like it gets everything where it needs to be for just executing the shot. And then it's like, okay, because you still have the variable of like your shot can land in between here and here or anywhere in between or whatever.
And you can still miss the execution.
Yeah.
You can still miss the
Yeah.
execution.
But you're not like thinking about like, well, I don't want to do this. You're just thinking, I want to do this and
Yep.
like how, whatever. So you're setting it up for the best possible outcome realistically, I think. So helping me, yeah, it sounds crazy, but like it helps get more into that groove for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm just looking to do that. Like I want to miss like this tree, like that, not just this tree and like all these other trees. It's like just this one. I want to be in the inside on a hyzer,
Yep.
whatever. And it works out 9 times out of 10 or something.
It's aim small, miss small.
Yeah.
That's that theory. So when you're aiming at this exact thing at this angle or whatever, if you miss it by 20%, you're still probably pretty good. When you're
Yeah.
like, I'm going to throw the hyzer over there.
Yeah.
And that's first round what I got into this weekend. I had it happen a couple times, second round not too much, but first round I had a lot of like, I would throw it, I would end up not where I wanted to be, and then I was like, where the fuck was I even? Like, all of a sudden I just threw a shot, and then it didn't go where I wanted it to, and I was like, what was I even doing?
Did I just black out? Like what
Yeah.
just happened?
Like,
Yeah.
throw a hyzer around that corner, but no intent of like, I'm just going to throw it to the outside of this tree, or I'm going to put this height on it, or I'm going to pull it out to here, or anything. I'm just like, all right, throw the hyzer into that gap, and the gap's gigantic.
Yeah.
And then I early release it, and I hit the shit over here, and then I'm like, where was I even aiming?
You throw it like Big Germ 5 times in a row in the castle hole.
Yeah, just right over to the left.
Oh, that mini too that they found, that little yellow one.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Really?
It's mine now. Yeah. I was just like, I own that because I found it was like no one's around, and I needed a mini for the tournament.
Yeah.
So that was the mini I used for the tournament.
That's hilarious.
It was great.
All right, we ready to work out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had a couple questions though.
All right, well, I have to pee real quick.
Oh my god. All right. Well, if anyone else has
What
to
if a
pee,
question is, why do you pee so much?
Yeah. Why do you pee so much?
Because I drink so much liquid.
Oh, it's not because you have a tiny bladder.
My bladder is that of a trucker.
It would take you so long to get literally anywhere as a trucker.
No, when I'm in the car, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say.
I'm not drinking pre-workout and then getting into a car.
I feel like you have done that before, though.
Yeah, not now.
Oh,
Not that you know of.
oh
Can we do something special for the Halloween podcast?
dude, I don't know. I mean, we're definitely dressing up for the Halloween podcast. He's asking.
Yeah.
Do you have a good pee?
Fantastic.
Nice.
I needed it more.
Nice.
And we're back.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So Haley asks, would you rather be the disc or the basket, and why? For me, I think it's unanimous.
What's that?
1, 2, 3.
Disc.
Disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much explanation I need.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather be the thing screaming through the air.
Yeah. I want to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basket, like, they're subject to, like, hooligans, you know,
Yeah.
people standing on them,
Yeah.
breaking you, rage throwing at you.
Yeah. Lawnmowers drive into you.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? And then like your face is permanently damaged.
Yeah. And you're never truly celebrated as a basket.
Yeah.
As a disc.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know.
You're like, wow. Usually it's like, what the fuck is wrong with this basket? Like,
Yeah.
didn't catch my putt. I hate chain stars. Who put you here?
Yeah. Where the disc, when you get it right, they're like, I love that fucking disc. Or you get retired, you know, you get some autographs.
You hang out with some other discs.
Yeah.
You don't really get thrown too much, but you did something sweet and you got praised for it. So you got put away.
And baskets, I feel like you never really get to hang out with other baskets. Where discs, you got buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to travel around.
Yeah.
You know?
Go places.
Pretty sweet life. Yeah. All right,
sweet. Thanks, Haley.
Yeah.
Tommy asks, why are the letter trees? I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think trees are important. You know?
I don't know.
They give us air. They give us
why
oxygen.
Not? Yeah, I don't know. They're part of doing stuff and things.
Yeah.
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 They live for a while. They're cool. They smell good sometimes.
Being a tree teaches you patience. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a tree, you have to have patience.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's gonna be sad for you.
Yeah. The crazy part, I like. The crazy part is like if you're a tree, right? Like I'm this tree. I think about this sometimes.
Do you think why trees actually grow bigger and stronger is they just are the trees with more patience, and then the trees that are little shitty stick trees are like, I just grow really fast?
No, I think the big trees they have better genetics, and then also like they're in an area that they can control like the nutrients that they get. So what fucks trees is when somebody else comes into their area and takes their access to resources. Yeah. So when you get the like viney shit that grows all over the tree, and then like you're the tree, but really after a while, all you're doing is providing infrastructure for this bullshit vine that's covering all your leaves and getting all your sun. Or you have other trees next to you that like soon just grow a little bit taller than you and then block all the sun. But I think like your demise as a tree is never fast.
Yeah.
Unless you get taken out by a lumberjack.
Yeah. Like even I saw a tree one time wrapped in like a quarter, or not a quarter, like an inch and a half vine, just all the way, and it was so embedded in the tree, like it was literally like in a chokehold. Yeah. And it was just like.
Yeah, you slowly watch your demise as some other.
You're getting choked out for years.
This guy, like, you got this little guy next to you. When he's small, you're talking shit to him. You're like, nice leaves, dick. And then all of a sudden, he grows a little bit taller than you, and you're like, God damn it, I knew it.
Yeah, I should have never said it.
Should have never said that. So why are trees?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why.
Good. I don't know if that answered anything.
Yeah. Sean asks, what color should you dye your hair? I don't know if anyone's noticed. My hair is.
Oh shit, that's right.
Oh yeah. I no longer have color in my hair.
Yeah.
It's now blonde.
Yes.
That's the way it's staying.
So I thought I internally made fun of you.
Did you? What'd you say?
Not because you dyed your hair. It was before I knew that you were dyeing your hair.
Okay.
Because I hit you up and I was like, hey, I'll be back at 1:00 on Friday. Turned out 1:30.
Yeah.
And I was like, blah, blah, if you want to do something. And you were like, I have a hair appointment at 2:00.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I've ever had a guy tell me before that he had a hair appointment.
Yeah.
So I was laughing and I was like, what does he got going on at the hair part? Are they going to trim up his like dead ends? Like, his split ends? Like, what are they going to do? So I didn't know that you were like getting it dyed. So it made sense once I saw the picture on Facebook where I was like, it was a hair appointment. But before I was like, what the fuck hair appointment?
So this is Amanda's aunt or whatever. Super nice lady. Does great work, whatever. She's been doing this for years. And at one point, I've dyed my hair like multiple times. Like I've done this before and then dyed it red, blue, purple, whatever. And I just wanted to do something. And like I've had highlights, I've had it blonde before. I was like, sweet, like I like that. It kind of like it makes me feel like I'm more in California-y. I don't know, it's like a weird thing. Yeah. But like that's just kind of how it is. And I wanted to just do something. So it's like I'm not gonna go crazy, but this seems like legitimate.
Right.
So we'll just do that. So I reached out to her. And I was like, I need to get, I don't know, whatever trimmed, like dead ends, whatever. Yeah. But I want to dye it or like strip it of color. I want to go blonde, whatever. And she's like, yeah, like $75. So like, all right, sweet. And I'm thinking like, I'll give you 100 or something, like as a tip and whatever.
Yeah.
And I know it's gonna like take a while and whatever. I was in the chair for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, also like when I showed up, she was like, oh. you have way more hair than I remember.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's been like a little while. She's like, it's probably been like 2 years since I've seen you. It's like, no, it hasn't. It's been like a handful of months or what. Anyways.
Yeah. I'm on new supplements.
Yeah.
Really
So,
makes my
like,
hair grow.
Yeah. I mean, legitimately, my hair grows fast. Like, I've been growing it for a year now or whatever. And it was from like your length or something. But it wasn't $75 by the end of it. She had to like keep making like mix of whatever. It took like, I was there for 3 hours. And at the end, I was like, what do I owe you? She was just like, why don't you just double it? I was like, seriously? Like, yeah. I was like, fuck. So, and I still have to go back because I still have like some orangey on looking on top because there's still color there. So I have to go, like, I have to pay her what I owe from the last appointment, and then however much it is to do like the last. Hopefully it's not $75 just to do the last little shit on top. But yeah, I'm not going like green or purple or whatever. I'm just gonna like let it grow out. So I'm gonna have my roots come through at some point.
Yeah.
Probably next week they're gonna start showing.
End up with an ombre.
Yeah.
Of something totally stylish.
Yeah. It's gonna be sweet.
I've never dyed my hair, and so my hair.
When you had dreadlocks and you were blonde, that's how your hair naturally was?
I had some guy lights. It was a different time and place though. Late 90s. Guy lights weren't as much of a thing as they are
So it doesn't
now.
count? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I mean, I've had highlights in my hair.
Yeah. But not color.
Not color. So when it was blonde like that, it was bleached from the sun, because I used to work with horses, so I was outside in the sun like year round.
Okay.
Basically, because I like once I stopped going to college and worked with horses, like in the wintertime I was in Florida.
Okay.
So I was basically like out in the sun a solid 12 hours plus a day.
That's crazy. I've had my hair like sun bleached before, but it was never like to that extent.
Yeah. Well, my hair was lighter when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then as I've gotten older, it got darker at some point and then started going gray.
Right.
But yeah, so my hair started thinning when like on the peaks here when I was like 22 or 23. And I was like, no.
So you're early for that.
Yeah. And I was like, oh shit. And it did that for like 3 years where I could notice it like getting thinner. And I was like, son of a bitch. And then at like 26, it just started going gray on the sides. But it stopped getting thin on top. And I was like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Go nuts. I can always like dye.
So you were a silver fox early.
I was always, no, it was like slightly getting gray. And then I think when I got back from New York, so maybe when I was like 31, then it got a little bit more aggressive with getting gray. And then it's just like continued to like gray out over the years. And now I'm just starting to get some gray on top. Not very much, but like I can see some gray hairs on top.
I thought about doing the silver thing for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was, no.
Yeah. I just couldn't do it. So I guess if I did it for fun, right? Like you went blonde because you just want to do something for fun. I think that that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I think if I dyed my hair now, it would be like covering up my gray.
Yeah.
And for some reason to me, I would just feel like an ass clown. Like,
dude, I thought the same thing. So when I got mine done, I don't know. I thought about you getting like your hair, whatever.
Yeah.
Like silver, like it matches you. Like you're a good looking guy, whatever. Silver hair, it makes sense. And then I was like, what if Darren just like covered up his head with color? And I thought, it was like, idiot. Like, it'd be too weird.
I couldn't take myself seriously.
Yeah.
So I'm good with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am who I am.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I would just feel like I'm like lying, or in some way I'm like playing a role or whatever. And I think maybe, I don't know. Like I guess by the time my hair was going gray and I actually like was like, oh, I'm going gray. I don't know. It was never really that big of a thing. And now I feel like it would give me the look or something of like I'm trying to be younger than I am.
Yeah, look at that guy. He's going through like some sort of crisis or whatever,
like,
even though that's not it.
Right, and I have no problem with my age, and I have no problem with any part of it. And I work on like us working out, and even before that, like stuff that I did, like I work to maintain my ability to athletically use my body, and I try to take care of my body, so it'll serve me as long as possible. But I never feel like I'm trying to like be something I'm not, or present myself in a way of like something that I'm not. And I never have in my lifetime. Yeah. I've never been like, oh, I'm this other thing. And so I just feel like dyeing my hair is that.
Yeah.
Like like I'm gonna start wearing True Religion jeans. You know what I mean? And
like if you're past, I don't know. I was thinking about it too. Like if you knew me even before we actually met, this would probably make more sense just because I've done this more. Like I think to my sisters and family, my dad, stepmom, whatever, like this is a normal, because I've dyed it a bunch. I got it dyed blue when I was like, I think 13 or something. It was actually like awesome. They did a great job, but it wasn't stripped and then dyed blue. So like the blue was very subtle, looked sweet, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think not having that past or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
It seems weird sometimes.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. Like for me, I think once I started going gray, that then I think like if I dyed my hair, it would just seem like I'm trying to cover that up.
Yeah.
And be something that I'm not.
Yeah.
And so like I didn't. But before in my lifetime, instead of dyeing it, I just did like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I shaved my head for like 6 years.
Really?
Yeah, when I was younger. Like
Oh,
I just shaved it. I just clipper my hair, especially when I worked in horses, because like one, I'm on the road all the time, and two, it's hot as fuck because I'm outside all the time. And I was just like, whatever. So I just clipper it. Like every couple of days and do that. And then when I lived in New York, I did the same thing. I just clippered it. And I don't know, I had like a mohawk for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had dreadlocks when I was younger. I had long hair. I had short hair. Like I've done all
the dreadlocks got me the most, because even when I saw that picture, I was like, "Are you sure this is you?"
What?
Yeah. That picture is great.
Yeah, there's a couple good ones of me with dreadlocks. One the day that I got the Chief tattoo. Yeah, it was like I just looked like Sideshow Bob.
Really?
It was like the dreadlocks had taken and they had like all set in, but I still needed one more round of like really like grinding them out to like get them solid. So they were
How'd you do your? I forget how you did yours.
You like rat them down and you twist them and you rat them down and you twist them. You rat them down and you twist them. And then I tried to put them in because the texture of my hair, due to my whatever heritage, is not conducive to my hair dreading up. I have very straight, fine hair, which is the opposite of what you'd want if you want dreadlocks.
Yeah.
So we tried a couple of different things. Like one thing that I heard is like, oh, if you just don't wash your hair for a long time, it'll dread up, probably if you have different hair. But then actually like the grease in your hair kind of prevents it from dreading up. Yeah. It just makes it really nasty. Yeah. So I went along.
Yeah, the one thing that blew my mind at one point was like, I always thought dreaded hair is like dirty, whatever. Yeah. Was learning that you could have like clean dreads. Yeah. Like and be fine.
Yeah, just most people who tend to have dreads probably aren't the cleanest.
Right.
In terms of, well, I guess I don't want to make that kind of blanket statement. There's a lot of people that have dreads that do not follow strict personal hygiene, like, systems. So mine, like, my hair just got really greasy, and then when we tried to dread it, like, the grease just prevented it from dreading up. Yeah. So then we did it with something else. I think at one point we might have used honey. I know that it came up previously in a story. But I think we used honey, and I think we used toothpaste. And I think those were like the multiple things that we used. And I can't remember what the thing was that we used that it worked. But I remember like the third time, I had this girl, Michelle, who was this tiny little hippie chick in Kalamazoo. She had dreads. And she's like, oh, I'll make it work. And I was like, okay. And then I remember like sitting there, and she like put them all in, and they stuck. And I was like, sweet. And she's like, we're going to have to do it again to like really get them to solidify. Yeah. And then the next time, like, she did it all up, I wore a winter hat for like 2 weeks. And then after that, they were like solid. And I was like, cool. Yeah. This is going to be sweet. Yeah. But then what I didn't like is as my hair would grow in for most of it, and you can see most people that have dreads that have a similar background to me, when the hair grows in the bottom, in the back, it doesn't dread up. Mm-hmm. So then you continuously like have to add it to dreads, and it's just like a lot of maintenance. Yeah. And the whole point of it was like to prevent maintenance. Yeah. So then when I found myself with a bunch of maintenance, I was like, fuck this. So I think I had them for like, I don't know, 7 or 8 months or something. And then I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of out of this. Yeah. And then we tried to take them out, which was, I lost like half of my hair taking them out. And then I like conditioned and did all this stuff with my hair, and then I was like, fuck it. So then I just cut my hair all off. Yeah. Yeah.
As most, I think.
Most dreaded people probably do.
Yeah. Yeah. When they're done with them.
Yeah. I should have just cut it off from the start.
Yeah. There's a documentary I watched on social media, and it was this guy, like super smart guy, but he had like the longest dreads I've ever seen. He's probably like mid 50s now or whatever. Really intelligent. He's on the spectrum of like computer geniusy guy, but he's the dude who's just like, I don't know. Like you look like a computer guy if you look like this guy or like prim and proud. There's no like in between. At least like to me it's weird. But he had these dreads like down to his like ankles.
Yeah.
Like they were crazy long. Like you've been doing this since you were born. Long. Yeah.
Gabby's cousin, she got married last year. Her dreads were to the ground.
Really?
Yeah, like on the ground.
God.
So she just cut them off like a month ago. So she cut them to like shoulder length, but they were all the way like past the ground. Like
how long was she doing that for?
Oh, I don't know. Well over 10 years. But she could like hold them out to the side and they were still almost to the ground.
Wow.
They were insanity.
That's
like just
crazy.
the weight. She has to have a really strong neck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she would like bun them up. So she'd like wrap them around and tuck them in.
That's what I'm curious because, I mean, I've also asked myself that, like, how long am I gonna grow my hair? Like, when's it gonna be?
Yeah.
Like too much or too heavy or whatever. It's just, I don't know. We'll see when we get there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's just, I look. There's people that I look up to in this world, and there's people that I really admire, and none of them.
I'm glad I can do that for you.
Yeah. And besides you, none of them spend very much time on their hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I look at like people that I admire and people that I look up to and things that they do, and like I'm in a similar vein of like I just don't give a shit about it. Like I have hair because of Gabby.
Yeah.
Like I mean that's just like the dead truth. And she fights me on it all the time.
Yeah.
Because all the time I'm like I'm just gonna shave it off. So I get married in June next year. So I'm keeping my hair till June of next year, and then after that,
could be here, could be gone.
I don't know. I know Jason Statham gets like fucking mountains of pussy, and he has no hair.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis. I mean, there's plenty of guys. And it's not that like I'm balding, but like it's just kind of a pain in the ass for me. And then like when we go out, I got to like comb it, and then like 80% of the time when I comb it, it's like good. But then there's that 20% of the time where it just won't do the same shit that it does every other time, and then I'm there like blah, and then I leave the house feeling like, all right, well it's this. Where like when it's clippered off, like every day.
Why do you look like such a dildo today?
Yeah, like today I'm like, what's going on? But then like, you know, when it's all clippered off and it's just short, like every day I wake up and I'm like, gold, let's go. Yeah. Right? I'm ready to go. Then my shower takes like infinitely less time.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things like it's never really been like a big thing. Like I fucked around with it because it's something to do, but for the most part, like I just don't care. Like it's just not a thing. I don't know. I feel like I don't know how to put this without sounding like a douche, but like I've been successful in the courtship process, even in times when I looked like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't think it has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Business wise, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in terms of like how my appearance, obviously my appearance affects like, you know, my success at some level because I'm in a sales job. But, you know, I don't think like my ability to gain business is going to be that revolved around like, oh, my hair looks sweet, or my hair's clippered off.
Yeah.
You know? So especially if I bulk
I
up.
only buy homes from guys with
comb
hair.
overs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think once I bulk up, like, you know, I'll just go for the Jason Statham look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it'll
we're
work.
headed.
Fake, a fake accent. Just act like I'm British. Like I would never dye my hair because it looked like an ass clown.
You need to sound like Mike from the Valvoline store. So we stopped at Valvoline or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
To get the oil changed in the van.
Yeah.
And this guy had a really thick Boston accent.
Yeah.
Told us a lot about cars. Fucking, I'm terrible at accents sometimes. Yeah. And Phil was just, dude, I was in tears. Like every time he had stories for days about whatever, just talking in Mike's Boston accent because it's like, is that actually how you talk, or are you just fucking with us?
Yeah.
It was actually how he talks. Super nice guy. Phil was able to get like X amount off for whatever. So like shout out to
Valvoline.
Mike. Yeah. Mike's fucking awesome.
I had a guy one time talk to me and I thought that he was like doing an accent. And then I mimicked his accent back to him and it turned out that he had a speech impediment. And I felt fucking terrible about it. I didn't realize it because I just met him. And
oh my God.
He had like a lisp, but I thought that he was like doing it to like
fuck with you.
To like be energetic.
Oh
yeah,
like,
let's make some green stuff because there's like a business thing or whatever, and he was talking about like making money.
Yeah.
So he's like, let's make some green stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm super excited about it. And it was literally like he had a speech impediment, and I was like, God,
Oh no.
My intent was not.
Wait, did you stick with it all the way through? So you both had the impediment, or?
No, it's just when I made that comment, and then his face changed, and I realized that something went weird. And then as he kept talking, I was like, "Oh."
Did
so
you apologize?
No,
to
I
him?
just never addressed it.
Oh
I just
God.
moved forward like it never happened. Like maybe he misheard me. I was 23 at the time. Okay, so I didn't.
Oh, this wasn't like last week.
No, I didn't have the
Okay.
awareness. Yeah, yeah. These things stick with me. I don't let them go.
Oh my
so like the
God.
fact I was a douche to that guy about my bag. It's gonna
I'm
be
sorry, guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
All right, now you ready to work out?
I'm ready to get shoes because
Yeah.
I need to get some shoes, and then we're gonna hit that shit.
Yeah, cuz.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Well, we'll
this
see you in a
was
few
fun.
days. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Da, 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 da.